About, so just fix it.
I know what he's talking about.
I'm trying to. They good?
Mic check. You guys hear us up there?
Hello.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. Yeah, I hear. I just heard.
Yo, what is going on, everybody? It is Saturday night, and next podcast is live. Guys, we had a couple technical issues. OBS decided to crash on me, and they wouldn't let us talk to you guys. And you know we can't let that happen. There's a bunch of craziness going on with YouTube. I got out of the beta and all that good stuff, but the way I have things set up, there's little things I'm gonna have to troubleshoot when it comes to this show for next week. But guys, I am on it. Yo, if you can, just definitely hit that thumbs up button for us. Let people know that we are live, we are running the gameplay, and you guys can actually hear us. Not only that, shout out to the #1 supporter, Snoop Dogg. If you check the visuals, Snoop Dogg is in the house right now. But guys, yeah, it's been a long, painful process. Last week, I do apologize, guys. I had like a couple major updates on my computer because when I got the new computer, I didn't switch my preferences to have it download at like 3 a.m. when nobody's on the computer, all that good stuff, and it just stacked the updates one on top of the other, and there was a huge one. There was actually one from October, which was really weird, but so I couldn't, we couldn't come in. Me and the panel, we couldn't do the show last week, but I was not going to let that happen 2 weeks in a row. Guys, I will get into the intros right now because we have a lot to talk about. So, huge shout out to a man who is basically guest starring on Crossfire. He's been on Crossfire, a couple times now, and it's good when I can get him in and actually talk games, talk gaming news with him, twice in a row. He's one of the most opinionated YouTubers I have ever seen. Knoxximus!
Yo, what's really good, everybody? Bot, fellas, what's popping? Panel, what's popping? Let's get it. We got these topics. We got this shit going. Fucking did some shit, just fucking tie 2 strings of fucking can together and all that shit and got this shit going. Let's go.
Dude, we did it like tightrope walkers in the fucking
We
circus,
got data.
man.
We got data from the Goonies up in here to fix this shit up, bro. Let's go.
Nice, brother. And next on the list, this man is an all-star here in the starting 5 every Saturday. Well, in the starting lineup anyway. But and I got to give him an extra shout out because he helped get this live again for you guys tonight. Predator!
What's going on, everybody? I'm over here with my mic muted and shit, trying to play Division.
Dude, oh man, don't do what K Mega does. Come on, man.
Hey, I'm attentive and alert, so I'm good to go.
I can tell. I mean, there was only a slight pause to your intro.
I have my mic is muted, man. My cat likes to rub his face up against my damn microphone, so I know y'all don't want to hear that shit. So.
Oh yeah, dude. What did that happened on? What was it, Xbox Nation?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great, man. That was great. But dude, again, thank you for making the hangout, making this possible tonight, man. It's been kind of crazy trying to go live, but
man, we couldn't do the people like that another week in a row.
No,
so.
hell no. They need their next podcast, brother. All right, well, on that note, next on the list, coming live from the 405, and he's just trying to talk to the intelligent gamers out there. My brother, K Mega.
What's up, everybody? I'm here, ready to do it. Let's get to it. Glad to be here.
Oh shoot, what happened? Yeah. All right, I'm looking at what's going on the show, but yeah, Mega, it's been a long time coming. We haven't come together in like 2 weeks or so. I heard GRG last night. You guys were going in crazy. Especially when it came to Epic and Steam, and we're gonna talk about that today. And I got a bone to pick with you, man, but I don't think we could do it as the first topic. I think we need to let everything kind of warm up a little bit. So
that's cool.
All right. Well, so with that being said, let's first and foremost a smaller topic, something we were going to tackle last week, and I want to actually hear what you guys think about this. Sega is coming out with a Genesis Mini, 40 games in it for $80, and I really want to know what you guys think about this. Me personally, I'm like, these companies are trying to capture that Nintendo Gold. I don't think they're going to do that. All right, I think the time has passed when it comes to these. PlayStation had a horrible offering with their PlayStation Mini. The games weren't that good. Genesis, it does look better, but I don't think anybody's going to touch what Nintendo did with the NES and the SNES. So I'm going to go to UK Mega first and foremost, man. That Genesis Mini, are you hyped about it? Is this something that you're going to pick up for $80?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, that's, to me, it's just and the way Sega does things is that with this console, that you can put your emulators on there as well, so you could be able to probably add more games to it.
Well, you're saying might and probably right now.
Well, because it was a rumor. I'm not gonna. It's been stated for a while that they were going to do a mini themselves. A lot of people have been asking for one. So one of the biggest things that people have been saying in their blogs, is, hey, go ahead and let us have that emulation thing to where you can go ahead and put other games on it. And I think that they're going to do it. There's still some more things that need to be leaked out about it. But yeah, man, I mean, Sega got just as many classics, man. I mean, that's the one reason why the PlayStation didn't work was because of how many games it had on it, the price. You know, like when it gets down to $20, I'll go ahead and get the PS1 Mini. But but for $100 and didn't have as many games, and then the list of games, it didn't give the gamers an opportunity to pick what kind, you know, to make at least out of like 5 or 6 of them to have a you know, to have a some kind of poll or something to show what kind of games would be really popular off of the PS1. It just was dumb. They just kind of threw it at the gamers thinking that it was going to stick, and obviously
it's like they had the game titles on pieces of paper and they just grabbed them out of a hat.
Exactly. Yeah, like I mean, I remember Jumping Jack Flash, but that was a game that I rented at Blockbuster, and then I gave it back like the next day. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I didn't even give it the
3 day on it, man.
Yeah, I didn't even give the 3 days on it. I took that game back immediately. So, and so that was so yeah. PlayStation made a terrible mistake on the game on the game count and what kind of games they put on there. But Sega, they have 40 games on there, plus the fact that it's, you know, those games are classic. I would say that some of those games are just on the same realm of what Nintendo has, and it's nostalgia. I mean, you know, it's other than Sonic. I mean, you got Toe Jam and Earl and other games on there. So I mean, I'm really excited about it. I'm definitely going to pick it up.
Now check this out, Mega. This is one thing I feel Sega did that Nintendo, PlayStation definitely didn't do, and this is why I feel like this is more of a watered down offering. You know, Sega, they went hardcore software, right? And when they did that, they came out with a lot of like vintage collections, 1, 2, 3, Golden Axe, all sort of throwback games, and they put them on the consoles. They, you know, I have a vintage collection. I might have a couple on my Xbox and stuff like that. So that's why I think it's not going to take off the same way like the SNES Mini or the NES. What do you think it's going to do out there? Do you think it's going to blow up like that, or do you think because they have, you know, their games kind of bundled in different collections already on your platforms, like it's not going to do as well or create that hype, man?
No, I don't think it'll be on the same realm as Nintendo. The only thing that Sega could bring out that would give Nintendo some competition, or maybe even outdo the PlayStation, I mean the NES Mini, is the Dreamcast Mini. I mean, that's what everybody really kind of wants. So that would be the main thing that would give the Nintendo Mini some run. But other than that, like, no, I think it'll do well. It'll get people to show it off. You'll see it on social media, people showing a couple of games, and then of course they're if they're lenient with their with streaming it and things like that, they could get a lot of people to jump on board and pick it up, man. I like I said, I'm going to pick it up. I mean, it's just nostalgia. I've always been a Sega guy, so I mean, it's more than Nintendo. So I mean, it just anything Sega is pretty much like it just makes me happy. And besides that, I get to play Shinobi again. I can't wait.
Oh no! All right, brother. Well, let's go to the panel member who, if I remember correctly, speaking to him like every week, doesn't really like to go back and play old games. Yeah, that's right. It's you, Predator. Yo, Fred, what do you think about this? Is nostalgia kind of itching you on this one? Are you thinking about throwing down $80 for a little Genesis with 40 games, man? What are your thoughts?
No,
No?
like you called it right when you did the intro here. Like I don't really play a lot of old games like that. Especially when I pay $80 to play something like you were mentioning before. Like they have a Sega Vintage collection where you can pick up some of these games and play them anyway. So, like Alter Beast, I think I did some gameplay once of Golden Axe. Like, I mean, I don't know. I think for like the collectors out there that want to have like a mini, if I just like wanted to put a display of those consoles on my wall, that'd be a great pickup for me. But I'm not into the collecting thing like that. So even if I bought it, I really wouldn't enjoy those old games like that. I just don't go backwards like that. I always look forward to better games. And even though it would be great to have some memories of some of that stuff, like that far back from me, I think I'd probably play it like, just as, oh, I remember this game, and then I'll throw it down in a week and never touch it again. So it'd be $80 I just wasted for games I probably won't even finish. So it's a soft pass for me.
Now, Pred, with looking at this, like I can compare it to the SNES, and I can see it like with all those things. Now, with the mini PlayStation, I've gone on record saying that now that we're looking back at the past, that wasn't a really pretty generation. Like, does it? Even though I know you're not going to get it and everything like that, but you think about the games, you think about like the side scrollers and stuff like that. Do you think that there's more appeal on the Genesis side because of how those games are built and how they look now compared to like the PlayStation Mini?
Yeah, I would say yeah to some of us. It depends on what kind. I was a Sega guy, so like for me, the Genesis was the first console I paid money for myself. My parents didn't buy it. I'd cut grass and pay for it, and that's why I loved it because I earned it. So.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, those offerings on that console would mean more to me as an ex-Sega guy. I didn't get a PlayStation until the PlayStation 4.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I'd skip the entire PlayStation generation in the beginning. Not that I hated PlayStation, I just couldn't game.
Dude, I played my PlayStation 1 until it died. Like it literally melted in front of the TV.
Yeah, I stopped gaming like at the Nintendo 64 period, and then I didn't pick it back up again until the original Xbox One. So I missed all of that with the PlayStation. I didn't have time. I was deployed too much, so I didn't have time to game back then. So so for me, getting the PlayStation 1, I don't have that nostalgia, so it doesn't mean shit to me because I wasn't there for it. Now the Genesis, I'd have a little bit higher hopes of buying, mainly for the facts I stated before, but I know I wouldn't play the games. I would just touch on them. And even if I really wanted to play those games bad enough, the ones I enjoyed are in the vintage collection anyway. Okay. I mean, I would love to play some Space Harrier, but I wouldn't finish it. I play it and what is it? I don't remember what the games were, but I do remember playing a lot of Altered Beast. I remember playing a lot of Space Harrier. I remember playing a lot of what the fuck is that other game? Thunderblade. Like I loved my Genesis.
Super Thunderblade was insane, man.
So like I love that era of gaming for me, but like for some other people who never, like some of the kids that listen to the show, I say kids. Some of the people who listen to the show weren't around for that generation. So if they go back and pick that up, they're like, what the fuck is this? So
young whippersnappers.
Yeah, like what are these pixels? What is this crap? Like, coming from what we play now, you compare apples and oranges when you compare, Altered Beast to like Mortal Kombat 11. So I just don't think it's going to catch on unless you're like a collector or you just really love the vintage games.
I got you, man, and I can definitely see that. Yo, huge shout out to Sir X-Man hitting up that super chat. Good to see you in here, brother. He said Dreamcast for life, Power Stone, baby. Hell yeah, that was one of my favorite games on the Dreamcast. There were so many games. Ready to Rumble Boxing actually came out, I believe, first on Dreamcast. And dude, I used to kill that game. But man, you got me thinking back to the Dreamcast days, man. I'm actually interested in Knox on this one because I know he's been gaming for a long time, and I know that nostalgia bug definitely bites him here and there. So, yo, Knox, what do you think about the Genesis Mini? $80, 40 games. Is it a pickup for you, brother?
Well, look, I'll put it to you like this. I'm a big Sega dude too, man. Like Sega was my joint, bro, from the Master System, the Genesis, and all that, bro. You know what I mean? Like, but nah, that's a hard no. Like $80,
no.
80 yuccas for that shit?
Yeah.
You bugging, bro.
Oh, we got a yuccas.
Nah, bro. If you would have told me like 25, maybe even how many games are on there? 40?
80.
40.
Oh, 40?
No.
I'm asking. I don't. You might be right. Maybe 40.
I was like, did they double it?
Said $80, so it kind of threw me off.
It should have been $1 a game, right? You know what I mean? Maybe. I don't know, bro. For me, if you're not a collector, the thing is, for me, it's not worth the $80 because I'm not gonna play it. I'm definitely like, if I had a man cave or something like that, and I want to set it up and do a little display with all the little mini consoles, that looks dope. You know what I mean? But other than that, other than just buying it to use it as like a showpiece that you just have there,
$80 paperweight for you, man. Is that what you're trying to say?
It's going to be an ornament because I'm going to be using it as an ornament, right? I'm going to
Yeah.
be using it to dress up the place, right? You know, but so whatever. If and I would still wait until because I just wouldn't pay $80 for it. But you know, if you're a collector,
like a month or two.
yeah, bro. If you plus they got the little fake ones too out there, bro. You go to any Family Dollar, some shit, and fucking grab one of them fake joints. It looks exactly the same.
There's
if you
General
just
Sis somewhere out there, like.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Got the knockoff.
Yeah, well,
But
see, that's another thing as well. So many like third-party like companies have come out with something already.
Yeah, and if you want to play the games, you can, any emulator runs them joints. You know what I mean? Like,
Here we go. Mega, did you hear that? He said your favorite word.
I know.
Emulators, man.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't know. At the end of the day, if you're a collector and you like it, more power to you. I feel
that's me for me.
Absolutely.
That's what it is for me. Like, I mean, it's not like, I mean, I agree with Fred. I would have it. I would play it for maybe a couple of weeks, maybe the max for a month, and then I put it up and just have it set up there on a box for a display, and then like, just for the nostalgia, if somebody comes through or whatever, or just ask for, hey, you want to, you should be able to, you could be able to stream on it. And so like, hey, could you stream that or whatever? And then, yeah, I would do that. But just for like as a everyday thing, no, it's not that. But it's just for the nostalgia because I have a lot of love for Sega, and so it's one of those things that it's like I would have to support it, as a gamer, because of as much as I supported Sega throughout all these years, I'm just going to do it. I mean, I would have been all over the PlayStation Mini if the PlayStation 1 Mini, if it had a bunch of games, and if it was, and if they put better effort behind making the games look better, but they didn't. I mean, I got a PlayStation 1 emulator, and those games look 10 times better than what the Mini does. So I was just like, no, that's a waste of money. But for this, I mean, 40 games, and if you can hook up the emulator to it to where you can add more games to it, then I'm sold.
I could definitely see that with the emulator, and I know you're all about that life, Mega.
Yes.
I have a PC that can muscle through all that stuff, get all those games to work, and I'm just like, I don't really want to do the work. As you can see, I'm having enough trouble getting the show live every Saturday. I'm not gonna mess with emulators, man. But on that note, it's time to switch the subject. Actually, I do want to say Skint Eastwood did make I would say a semi-valid point, although I can see the difference. He said, you say that's a lot of money, but we pay $80 for the latest release these days, and he called me out on that. And that is kind of true, but you got to admit, the games that are coming out now, you look at it in comparison, I know that's 40 games and the whole nostalgia bit, but any of those games that I really liked back then, I pretty much beat. All right, and I don't.
The reason I say that $80 is too much for that, bro, is just because you're not gonna play it, bro. They are just capitalizing on, like you said, nostalgia. You know, for us that grew up on it. I grew up on that Altered. I got my Genesis in what, 88?
Dude, my brother
Altered Beast came with it for free.
Altered Beast, we killed that, me and my brother, man. We killed
bro.
That
like they just G'ing you for 80 yuckets, bro. They don't have to charge you that. They could charge you 40 and they coming off. Seriously, come on. That shit costs like 2 fucking pennies and a fish hook to manufacture.
2 pennies and a fish hook.
And they're trying to charge you $80 for that. Nah.
All right, I need people to go to Twitter right now, tag Knoxximus and do the hashtag 2 pennies and a fish hook. That's what I want to see on Twitter. But guys, we are going to switch up the topic, and another thing I really wanted to talk about is really interesting, and this can unfold into a major topic. But Sony is basically, I believe, by the end of this year, cutting off the servers and taking Driveclub out of the PlayStation Store. And the funny thing about that is, I hear so many people, even to this day, about Driveclub and what a good racer it is and stuff like that. I'm kind of shocked. I don't know if this means that there's nobody playing it, so they figure they're gonna kill the servers and kind of take the game off there. Like, it doesn't exist moving into the future. But I thought this was interesting. Pred, what do you think about this, man? Do you think Driveclub, general thoughts on them actually cutting the servers and then taking the game out of the store, this year, moving forward, like what type of like, because there's a lot of interesting possible implications here. Why do you think they're doing this right now, man?
I don't know, man. It seems really sudden because like I can go back and play Forza, some of the old Forzas and we're getting back and pack games that are still like with live servers and stuff like that. So for them to shut it down, it baffles me. And this is one of the games that was supposed to be a Forza killer, and it's all gone just like that. So it's a little weird to me. Because I don't think that the game was that bad. I mean, you got to start somewhere and build up from that. So I just I never really played the game. You get Forza. Maybe it's one of those situations where we can't beat them, so fuck it, we're out. So so I mean, it was a shock to me that they did that as soon as they did. Because when did Driveclub come out?
2014.
Yeah,
I thought it was 15 actually, but
I thought it was like 15 or 16.
Oh, it could have been 50. It could have been 15. I thought it was 14.
You remember there was quite a few delays in it. It was supposed to be a launch game and all that good stuff. And
I know it came out a little bit after Forza Horizon 2, and I thought Forza Horizon 2 came out in
2014, October 7th. I just looked.
Okay. Oh,
Okay,
yo, that's awesome. Pred actually looked stuff up. Me, Mega, Knox, we'll kind of be like, yeah, I think it was then. Pred's like, yo, typing it in, like, all right, this is exactly when. But
I mean, like, are we done? Is that they're done with this game? They're never gonna make another one again.
Well, I believe the dev team got dismantled. So
it's done.
Yeah, but my whole thing is, and Pred, you brought it up. A lot of people are talking about backwards compatibility moving into the PlayStation 5. Now, if this game was such a gem, in the crown jewel that is the PlayStation 4, like do you think nobody's playing it now? Like, I don't know what's going on with that. You would want to bring that over in your library if it's one of those games and you're going to do backwards compatibility. Don't you think, man?
Yeah, what's the other racer they have? Or is this the only one?
Gran Turismo.
Gran Turismo. Like, I mean, maybe they're just focusing on one racer,
That's what I would have to say too. It most likely has to be that, or they just need them servers for something. Maybe I don't know, but it's weird, bro.
They need them servers. Like they only, yo guys, we need this for
other
other games.
They got to scrounge for some servers.
All they got is 2 pennies in the
2 pennies in official.
2 pennies in official.
Yeah, you got people in chat talking about that too, brother. But well, Knox, what do you think about this whole thing? Like, I feel it's kind of surprising because if you go and you talk to, I don't want to say PlayStation fans, but those kind of like extremists out there on social media, man, they held this game in such a high regard. I wouldn't think that like Sony would kill this off, man.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know, bro. I'm not very familiar with that franchise. I'm not.
Graphics are insane in that game. I will let you know that the graphics are crazy in that game.
Yeah, very, very nice.
Yeah. I really can't call it, bro. Like I don't know why they're going in this direction. The only thing I could say is they're not going to support the game anymore. They're going to go all in with Gran Turismo and they're going to just, that's it. That's like, yo, we're going to cut corners where we can. And here we go. This is one of them. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. In all honesty, you know what I'm saying,
dude? This came out of left part, like this came out of left field. Like I was thoroughly like, yo, what just happened here? But
yeah, I know people. I think people were concerned, like as far as like digital media goes, like, oh shit, yeah. See, now the game is irrelevant. From what I was reading, you can still play the game, like the single player mode or whatever and stuff like that. It's just the multiplayer shit and all them clubs or whatever. You're not gonna have any connection to any of that.
That game was basically built around the online capability as well. I mean, it does have like offline kind of like single player content, but when they built that game, they completely centered around clubs and doing stuff like against your friends list and everything like that. So. Well, Knox, another thing that you were talking about that, like, this is where I feel like this broadens more as well, is what is going on the PlayStation gamer side? Because, at the beginning of this generation, talking about digital content And even with the Xbox being an all digital system when they first announced it, people were like, "Oh man, they could just take your games. They could stop. They could cut the servers and stuff like that." I haven't heard any type of backlash here, and it seems that Sony is doing the things that people thought Xbox would do. You see what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
in cutting
yeah.
the game, cutting the digital game, cutting the servers, and saying, "Well, that's it, people." Like, what's
Yeah,
going
see,
on?
Sony dudes don't come out like that. Like I noticed that, like the real hardcore, like the real hardcore gamer, they'll call them out on that. If that's the gamer. But I'm talking about like the Sony fanboy in particular, when shit like that happen, they don't go ape shit. They're not like Xbox fanboys that they be like, oh man, they just air out their whole shit. The Sony fanboys like, you're gonna lie low in the cut. Damn, man, they did us dirty. But wasn't we bitching about this shit that Xbox is going? Shh, stay
How
quiet,
dare
bro.
you guys talk shit about?
Dark.
Don't talk about that. What's good, Dark?
What is up, brother?
What's up, man?
Guys, we have the angry otter on the panel tonight, man. Just dropping in. I love it. Yo, Dark, what do you think about this whole Driveclub thing, man? Do you think it's do you think Sony's doing people dirty right now, or you think nobody's playing the game?
Nah, good riddance, man. That game was terrible, bro.
Dude, graphically, hold on.
I heard the
Graphically,
VR though. I heard the VR was good. I heard that the VR was good. I heard that the graphics were good. I'm not a car guy, you know me and Forza, we go back, and saying it's niche and stuff like that. So I just never really got into those kind of games. But I mean, from what I've heard, from what I've seen from people playing it, they had a hard time just playing it online and things like that. So they're getting rid of that stuff. You're still going to be able to play it natively through the console, just single player wise, but you're not going to be able to play it online or whatever. So I mean, I don't really. I mean, how long ago was that game came out? Like what?
2014.
2014. So I mean, it's been a while, man. I mean,
Yeah,
if
but
you didn't play it by now, then you're not gonna play it.
But I can play games like that were from the 360, backwards compatible, live servers now
yeah,
to this
suck
day.
at them too.
Huh?
Like I'm seeing right now.
What are you talking about? I'm killing it right now, man.
Well, you are doing better than K Mega usually
Oh,
does.
there we go. I stayed on the board a lot more, brother. A lot more.
That is true. He does fumble a lot.
Well, talking about K Mega, let's get him in on this conversation as well. Mega, I know you have a PS4. Did you play or did you own at any time? Did you play Driveclub?
Yeah, I played it. That was when I first got it. When I first got my PS4, that was the first game I got.
All right, and what do you think about this whole cutting the servers off, taking the game out of the store this year? And I want to hear how you feel about that. But then also, what's going on? Why is there's no backlash or anything like that when people were saying that Xbox would do this with an all digital system. Now Sony's doing it and nobody's saying anything, man.
I mean, it's typical. It's typical of the PlayStation fanboy. They don't open their mouth unless the sales are right, or unless all of a sudden now their first game of the year, they're going to keep talking about that. That's it. They don't really talk about the gameplay of the games. Very seldom, except for the true gamers that are PlayStation fans. But most of them that you see on social media, they just talk about numbers and everything else. So, I mean, that's to be expected. The truth of the matter is that this game PlayStation gave this game more hype, and then also the media did as well. I remember GameStop putting that bold lettered saying that this was the Forza killer, and so PlayStation read it. The PlayStation fan base ran with it, and then once you've seen the game when it was being played, I remember that's kind of like when I first was getting started doing YouTube, is when I seen it and I said, look, this game looks beautiful. I was like, oh man, this game definitely looks better than Forza Horizon 2, but it looks like you're driving it on rails. And when you play the game, you are driving it on rails. And the turning mechanics in that game is absolutely ass. The AI is terrible. the game is very limited on all the experiences that you get with the competition with Forza and even with Gran Turismo. So it's not even it's for all the delays, and then it didn't even have rain or anything like that, and stuff was supposed to be coming in later, which it did.
Mm-hmm.
And then they added a whole bunch of other content with motorcycles and things like that. And like I said, the game is absolutely beautiful, still holds up to this day, graphically, but just for the mechanics, if you are a driver enthusiast, it's not nowhere there. It's an arcade sim,
without being arcade fun as well.
Right.
Like if you get off the road, you get penalized, stuff like that. Like
and it's really not like you get off the road. It's you know,
well,
you
yeah,
just
in
get
between
a little dirt,
the road and the safety girder that you can't pass.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah,
your tire hits the dirt, and they're like, "Oh, that's it, minus points right there."
Yeah.
I do
Yeah.
know that about the game, but Mega, are you at all like concerned, like moving forward with the PlayStation 5? I'm thinking that you're thinking of possibly, being multi-console again, as you were this generation as well. Now, backwards compatibility, you would think that they would have it with the PlayStation 5. Now, hearing news like this, are you concerned at all about backwards compatibility? And are you concerned at all about digital purchases when it comes to PlayStation? Because say you are an absolute fan of Driveclub and you love playing it with your friends. You have a hardcore crew of friends that you go in and you're constantly trying to beat each other's time and stuff like that. Dude, they basically said screw you to all those guys, and they're cutting it all out. Like, is there any concern about digital games moving forward on Sony's platform?
If you're an Xbox gamer that's come over from this generation over to the PlayStation now, then yeah, maybe. But if you are a PlayStation fan, it's not going to really be anything different. PlayStation has been doing this all generation. They've been taking away games online like after a couple of years. All you thing you got to look at is like the show, their baseball game.
Do they shut down the servers like
They
a
shut down the
year
servers
after?
every year and a half, maybe 2 years, and then so you're basically guaranteed that you have to go buy the next one, so they don't leave the server. So like if you want to go back and play the show online, the show, like let's say 14, good luck to you. It's not happening.
It's not.
They
You can't
shut
do it.
those servers down. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but that makes sense because people don't tend to go back and play the dated sports
No.
titles.
Oh,
no,
yo,
I mean,
hold on.
that's not
NBA
true.
2K, I skip a year in between
Yeah.
every NBA 2K. So
Yeah.
I want my NBA 2K to last, the servers to last for 2
Yeah, I mean,
years
Plus they want to they want to funnel you over into the new game. You know what I mean?
I get that, but the point of the matter is that there's some people out there that just can't afford to buy a brand new game right off the bat, like that, or they might have to wait until that game gets on sale that next coming year for when they do when they do have a new iteration come in. And that's not fair to that gamer, that they just have to be that they can play for a little bit, and then next thing you know, they shut the servers down, and then next thing then they
they can play local. They can play locally. They can play locally or play with their boy at home. The way it's meant to be played.
That's shady.
The way
right
it's
there
meant
to
to
me
be
was-
played, that the game, Driveclub is meant to be online.
I'm not talking about Driveclub. I was talking about the sports.
the
site.
show. Oh, okay. No, yeah.
That's kind of ridiculous to me, because if the one thing is like when these certain gamers that don't play sports games that like to say that, well, what's the point? You could just do digital this, then, but what's the point? They look the same. If that would be more of an argument for me if they started doing that to like Madden, NBA 2K, or anything else. Just think about this for a second. For any iteration this generation that Forza Horizon, for the Forza series, decided to, and they came out every year until this coming year. They came out every year pretty much. That after the second one, or let's say when Forza Horizon 6 drops, then Forza Horizon 5, you couldn't play that game online. Or then vice versa. That would suck ass. That would be trash.
Dude, not only that, there would be a riot on Twitter, on Facebook, everything like that. People would be gathering their torches, lighting them up, grabbing all the pitchforks that they can, and running over the Redmond to say how anti-gamer that was. Let's be real about it, man.
Right. I mean, there's people that's already kind of bitching about for the things that when Forza Horizon 2 came on games with gold, and then they said that basically they're going to have to stop the digital purchases that you could get, like with
because
people
of the music. Yeah.
Well, the Forza Horizon 3 is with the music, but with like when people make cars and stuff, like they make car designs and things like that, different skins, like they said they had to stop that or whatever. There was people bitching about that. So just think if they did the same, if they did the same thing with Forza Horizon like they did with Driveclub, people would go ape shit crazy. There's a reason why you want these. You want people like to go back and play some of those games. I would go back and I play Forza Horizon 6. You know, I'm still playing Forza Horizon 2. I am 45 races away from having every race completed in that game, and I'm not going to stop until I get it done.
Well, brother, Sir X-Man in the chat, he hit up that super chat one more time. He's like, I can still play, check this out, Project Gotham Racing and Forza 2 Online on the 360. That is pro gamer right there.
Right, and then also that's what makes backwards compatibility right.
Is that what makes you a pro gamer?
I mean, that's what makes backwards compatibility work, though.
That is a pro gamer situation, like not a professional game. Shut up, Dark.
It's like, dang, all right.
Wow, brother. Wow. But no, like what I'm saying here is so many people were so worried when the Xbox One was announced as an always online system, digital content. But then when you look at their track record, they have kept servers alive, especially like first party, everything like that, for an incredibly long time. To the point where it's like, why were people stressing on that? And then something like this comes along, and you heard about what K Mega said with the show, which I feel is bullshit as well. And nobody says anything. There's no backlash. You don't see anybody in the media saying anything negative about it. You don't. Of course, the Sony extremists on social media, they speak the loudest. So I'm pretty sure there's some Sony guys out there who are saying, this ain't right. But I don't hear that voice. I don't.
You don't
see
see
those
that.
tweets.
They keep quiet, even if they know deep down that it's not right. Yeah, they just don't. That's the thing, man. I mean, that's that's what makes backwards compatibility work. That you can go back and you can play these games how you did when you first interacted with that game back however many years ago. That's why I feel that PlayStation will do backwards compatibility, but it's going to be very limited. They're not going to go as in depth as what Xbox is.
Don't tell me they're going to do like the 360 where they have to they sent people codes for the back compatible game. You remember that when the 360 first came out?
I do remember that.
I hope they don't do that shit, man.
I don't know how they're going to do it. I just think it's mostly going to be PlayStation 4 and maybe some PlayStation 3 games. They're not going to go back to, because they still got to have PlayStation Now viable. So that's the one thing that kind of hurts them in a way. So, and then for so many other of their games that may be the single player games, that's the thing of it that to me that just trips me out is that, look, if it's all about the single player experience, cool, but when you have games like Driveclub and for all these other games that they've had that's backwards compatible, that's online, then I mean, it's, you know what I'm saying, then what's the point of doing it if you shut down these servers? I mean, Gravity Rush, they shut down the servers on that too last year. And that game was only a year and a half old before.
Yeah, that was another game. See, like,
but that game was more of a single player type of experience anyways. It wasn't really like a multiplayer type of game. It was more about the story and the combat and things like that than it was about that multiplayer mode that they had. It was basically a multiplayer add-on mode. So you can't really make that argument.
How you can't make that argument when there were people that like
it is a mode, it is a
I'm saying they gotta be looking at something, bro.
I mean, that's crazy. Like, I mean, if it's a mode that's okay.
Because we're the only ones. See, us Xbox gamers are the only ones that complain about this stuff because we get backwards compatibility with our console, but that's the thing with like PlayStation, they don't get it, so they don't care. They're like, oh, okay, whatever,
Well,
don't
no,
have
they're
it.
calling for it though. They're
They
getting that
are,
energy.
but
They're getting that energy for it. That's why they're screaming for. Oh, we see the patents, we see this, we see that. But okay, just think about what the Uncharted collection, right?
Mhm.
And then the Uncharted collection didn't come with the multiplayer. People bitched about it. Did they
Some
not?
people, some people bitch just to bitch though,
that is
bro.
true.
Because
Yeah.
some people bitch to bitch though because they ain't nobody playing no Uncharted
I didn't hear a lot
multiplayer.
of. I didn't hear a lot of
That
PlayStation.
shit is
That's
people
trash.
bitching
Because
about that, by the
there's a
way.
lot of people who play Uncharted
That's-
4 multiplayer, and
that
there's a
shit
lot
is
of people
trash.
who still play a lot of Last of Us multiplayer.
Nah,
so
but
that's
all right,
not
but
true.
the Last of Us is different though, because the Last of Us is
It is,
actually
yeah.
it's a very good multiplayer. It's just I don't know, just the people just
I don't know.
I don't get
Uncharted 4
but-
had a pretty good multiplayer too, though.
I never liked Uncharted's multiplayer. I didn't like the way it felt. It felt like a poor man's wannabe, but can't. I don't know, bro. It was. I never liked it, bro.
I
Uncharted.
just feel it's unfortunate overall. Just for my last point on it, I just think that it's unfortunate. But the game is really officially dead. So I mean, it's just a shell of itself. Of the team is broken up. The game got all of its support that it was going to get. So that can be the overall factor of it is like why I keep supporting to keep the server going when the game there's not going to be a sequel ever to come out.
All right. Well, I think we've done all we can with this topic. It's just absolutely insane, and I can't wrap my head around how PlayStation fans out there, and I'm pretty sure there's some out there. I know we have some PlayStation fans in the chat as well. Huge shout out to you guys. I just don't see the kind of like that is an anti-gamer kind of like movement going on. They're just like, oh, all right, yeah, and people are just moving on. When I know if the shoe was on the other foot,
Right.
it would be a witch hunt for weeks on
But
end.
from who though? But what you mean from the media or you
Well, see,
or from Xbox fanboys?
Well, see, this is another thing. This is another thing that I look at and I feel Xbox has a double hill to climb. Because when you look at PlayStation and PlayStation Extremists, whatever announcement Sony comes out with, it is the greatest thing since sliced bread. It is the holy grail of gaming no matter what it is. Where
I would say more towards the media though for
well,
that one.
well, hold on, but on
They're the
Xbox,
darlings of the industry.
well, let me finish this real quick though, because I feel like this has been going on for a while. On the Xbox side, even Xbox fanboys are critical of what Xbox does, and sometimes overly so.
Yeah, that's what I said earlier. Mega said it too. We both said the same thing. The Xbox fanboy would have come out and made this a big deal, if not the media. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They would have absolutely done that. They would have. That's what I'm saying. We Xbox fanboys, they air their dirty laundry, bro. They don't. Not Sony. Them Sony dudes, they just sit back in the cut like, all right, well, we ain't gonna say nothing. Media ain't saying nothing. We ain't gonna say nothing.
If
true.
they ain't saying it, we ain't saying it.
Yeah,
We're just moving
they
on.
might be feeling it.
Days
Maybe
gone.
you're gonna have the Driveclub community talking about it and shit. That's about it. But that's it. If there's even a community, because are that many people bitching and moaning about it? I don't know.
All right. Well, that being said, we are moving on. I am thankful that I am on the Xbox platform, which has had a multitude of racers where their servers are still there, everybody's still playing, and that is
Such
a
a
good thing.
niche thing.
Oh my goodness! You know what? Yo, Dark, get out of here! No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. Yeah, dude, I remember that was one of the first things between me and you. Yeah.
Yeah, I said it. I said niche, and you were just like niche. What? What are you talking about? It's niche. I was just like,
I'm
dang,
like, there's
dude, I just
millions of
triggered
people
him
who love
so
cars,
bad.
who love racing out there. You call it niche. Well, guys, let's move on, and this is gonna be funny for me. I'm gonna bring up a PC gaming topic. And it is something that's been going on, on Twitter, Facebook. You've had gaming media, writing about it, and what it seems to me is the whole war between Epic and Steam in terms of their websites or whatever. And the newest thing is, I guess, the new Borderlands is going to be exclusive to Epic. And
For 6 months.
there's a lot of PC gamers out there who are getting like, man, they're severely butthurt by this to the point where they started review bombing the PC version of Borderlands, giving it a 0, horrible comments, all sorts of stuff. And I want to hear what you guys think about it. So Dark, you were quick to respond, and I picked that up. So I'm gonna go with you first, man. What do you feel like? How do you feel about this whole PC war going on with Epic and Steam? And what do you think about Borderlands being at least a timed exclusive on Epic Games, man?
I have to say that it's a time exclusive for 6 months, so they're still going to be able to get it on Steam later on. They can wait. I've heard a lot of people, a lot of PC guys that I talked to who are going to wait until it goes to Steam.
Now, why
but
would
from
they
what
wait,
they've
man?
said, I think it's just because they don't like the practices that Epic has done, where they have basically thrown money at kind of like the similar situation between Rise of the Tomb Raider and Microsoft, when they threw money at Rise of the Tomb Raider and people flipped the fuck out. It's kind of the same thing with this, where people are flipping out because Epic is throwing massive amounts of money at these developers to put their game on their Epic store, and then basically the gamers are like, well, your store is trash, so we don't want to buy our games off of your trash store. I don't know personally if it is trash or not. All I know is that a lot of PC gamers are really upset about what Epic is doing with their because they feel that that you know
Pick the right words, brother. You're walking on
yeah,
eggshells right now.
I know. I'm trying to say within a context of like, with Epic, they basically are buying all these, marketing rights to these games, right? To put them on their, to exclusively have them.
Mhm.
And then like PC gamers don't like the fact that they're doing that because they feel like they should have more choice. They should have a choice of where they could buy their games.
Well, but
So
they didn't have a choice before, really.
Yeah,
It was just
that's
Steam.
what I'm
no,
thinking.
no, you're right. They didn't have a
Really.
choice before, but I think that they're
But there's a
thinking to
bunch of
themselves, well, with
launches.
all these launchers, with all these different stores, they should have a choice of where they want to buy their games. And of course, a lot of them are probably going to be buying it on, Steam, of course. So I think it's kind of this. It's really hard to say because like I've heard some PC gamers saying that, oh, I'm never gonna buy this game because it's on the Epic Store, and then some of them are just saying, I'll just wait 6 months. I don't care. I'll just wait and get it later.
All right. Well, let's Knox sound like he was about to jump at it. So, Knox, what do you think about this whole thing? Like, I know business side, and GRG last
That-
night was absolute fire. Like, K Mega, you guys did a great job. Even though I'm looking at you for
Yeah, I know
for a
you're
little
gonna put
bit.
me last. Yeah.
Yo, Knox,
Listen,
what do
man,
you think about this?
to me, that shit is silly. They getting mad at Epic because Epic wants to move their brand forward, bro. They gotta make these moves. That you gotta be in it to win it. They offer a lot to these developers. You know what I mean? These they doing a lot of things to sway them to their launcher, to their store. So I can't get mad at Epic for doing that. And to sit there
What, to
and
the
review
gamers?
bomb
They're doing a lot of things
They're-
to bring
they're
the
not-
gamers there, or the developers.
yeah, it's both.
I
Because
think they're
that's what
kind
they
of
want.
forcing the gamers to go there, not necessarily
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
They're
y'all
forcing the
offering
gamers
stuff.
to
All right, well, how they for? They're not forcing you to do anything.
They're not
You either
forcing you to do
you either wait the 6 months,
Yeah.
or you cop it at the Epic
All right. Well,
store.
when I wrote this
Like, what-
topic, I
what's
thought
the- you got-
it was
you
going to
got-
be on Epic, like, for good. That's it.
No,
All right,
it's not.
No,
So Dark
You know
came
what I
in
mean?
and kind of changed that theory for me.
Yeah, I squashed your dream. Yeah.
Listen, man, there's a bunch of launchers out there. Ubisoft got their launcher. EA got their launcher that you buy games. This ain't new.
But that's
this
their
isn't
first
anything new.
party
You know
stuff,
what it
though.
is? This is their version of the console war. That's what they're doing. I'm not gonna buy the game because I don't like the store that's selling it. You know what I mean? Like that shit is stupid. Like
Facts.
you know what I mean? It don't make no sense.
I can see, at least for the 6
I'm
months.
confident on PS4, baby.
Oh shit!
Go.
Yo, I'll never
Is-
play it
is
on
Knox now a
PS4. What are you
PS4
talking
fanboy
about, man? I hate that store. Yeah.
I hate that PSN store. I ain't
Yeah.
confident there.
Are you gonna get it physical or are you gonna get it digital?
Who? What? But I get everything.
You
digital.
better
Yeah,
get
I'm one of them. I'm one of them brave souls that
you better get
know,
it physical. You never know. They might cut the servers after
that
like a year.
that messes.
If they
I was
cut
gonna
the
say,
servers, your
I was gonna
physical
say
ain't
if you're gonna
gonna
buy it on
fuck
PlayStation,
anyway.
you might want to get it physical. I'm just saying.
Yeah, if they cut the servers down, it ain't gonna fucking matter if you just looking at a disc. That ain't
PlayStation.
Hey, at least you still got the art and the prettiness of the game, you know,
shit, they don't even
on your
put- they
Yo,
don't
shelf.
even
real
put
quick,
books
I
in the
want to
damn
give a
game
shout out.
anymore.
I want to give a
Jeez.
shout out to L. Paul in the chat. It's basically saying that he loves this show. Thank you, and we appreciate you coming in every week and hanging out with us in the chat.
Absolutely.
Dude, it is hard to get this crazy group of chaotic gamers together every week. Trust me. But with that being said, yo, Pred, I know, Pred, you get into the business side of things. So, what do you think about what's going on between Epic and Steam right now? Are you giving Epic kind of like a round of applause here for grabbing up, timed exclusives, trying to make themselves more of a foundation in the PC gaming space, or what do you think, man?
It's business, man. I mean, like the developers are making a
Thank you.
better cut out of this deal. I think they get like, what is it, like 8% or something like that, 12%,
12.
Yeah, I think it's
12
12.
versus
12.
like what
I
5
thought
or
it
6.
was 15%. But go ahead.
Whatever it is, it's more
it's
than what
12.
It's 10 to 15, yeah, but that's cool. Yeah.
yeah, whatever it is, more than they would get if they sold it on Steam. So like, I mean, yeah, I mean, if I was selling, a dozen apples, I can get, $10 for it over here and $8 for it somewhere else. I'm selling it for 10. So like, I don't understand why people would still understand that.
And you save costs on the engine too, Pred.
Yeah, well,
the Unreal Engine. So that kills that too.
To me, like PC gamers are so fucking fickle. Like the hardcore ones, they're just like they're complaining about a game that's gonna play the same no matter where the fuck they buy it. I mean, like if I knock on the door and sell it to you from the door, it's the same game if you buy it online. If I sell you a digital code it's like Knox was saying, it's stupid. Like, I mean, it's just a game. It's a launcher and a game. I think maybe the exclusive part they're more pissed off about, but at the end of the day, they can still buy the game. You're not being forced. You don't want to buy it, don't fucking buy it.
Pred, you are forcing me to show my hand that I was getting ready for with K Mega here. With K Mega here. All right. Now check this out. I can see people getting upset about this, especially if they are invested in Steam. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, and anybody on here, correct me if I'm wrong, but the Epic Game Store doesn't have a friends list feature, doesn't have a party chat feature like Steam does. All right? So that causes people to invest in Steam more and being able to quickly game with their friends who are on Steam, everything like that. Epic doesn't have that. So since they don't have that, and I don't see them developing it anytime soon, what they're doing is buying exclusive rights to games and giving developers more of the pie. Do you really think that's justified? Instead of building your features out or coming out with those features already installed in your store, so you can have a fan base that gets together with their gamers, their friends and stuff like that. That's where I can see the PC gamer getting.
Well, they did just come out with a roadmap. They did just come out with a roadmap of what they're gonna do and how they're gonna do that stuff.
Yeah, like they don't have that yet, so they got to figure out how to get that. But like, you start from the bottom and you work your way up to that sort of thing. So now, it's business. Right now,
it's cutthroat business right now, brother.
Yeah, that's business, man. Steam is getting
that's business. Worse. Steam used to be ass,
and they were a fucking monopoly because everybody would just go to Steam. Why do you think the Windows Store sucks so bad? Like, I wish Windows Store would have did this shit. Maybe they get games on their store as well, but like they didn't. They didn't undercut Steam. They try to compete with them one-on-one. Where Windows, or not Windows, but Epic is like, yo, we'll throw you some bread. We'll give you a little bit more cut. Bring your shit here and make it, and help build our store. There's nothing wrong with that. That's business. Now Steam has to compete with that. So are they going to undercut? Are they going to try and match that? Like they haven't answered that question yet. So yeah,
Exactly.
I mean, like, and for the whole party chat thing, most of the people I play with this game chat, you can still use that shit. I'm sure some people can use that or Discord. Most of my friends I play on PC use Discord any fucking way. So like, they're not using the chat in Steam.
Okay. All right. And I just
Not everybody.
shout out to Brian Baker and Shizno Elite in the chat. You guys are here every week. Thank you for chiming in. Basically, it says that it doesn't matter. You can add non-Steam games to your Steam launcher. And in other words, this whole kind of like fight is pretty much stupid. And Shizno is saying the same thing. Here we go, guys. And I got a KO. If I got a KO animation, if I could KO Mega on this one. Mega, I heard you on GRG last night and talking about how competition is good and how Steam had a monopoly in the PC area. I understand when it comes to a monopoly and companies getting lazy and stuff like that. But what has Steam done that would cause you to be like, well, competition is good? Like, I feel that a monopoly isn't necessarily bad if the company is giving the consumer what they want. You see what I'm saying? And I didn't understand.
But I'm not agreeing with it.
Well, why not, man?
Okay, it's like this, right? Okay, if this is the one thing that I've always stated, and we've stated here about the console space, when PlayStation was going through that bad situation back in 2014, 15, where they were laying off a whole bunch of people, and it looked like the Sony their stocks was like gone. Even Japan was like they kicked their ass out of like some kind of diplomatic some shit. I forgot what it was called, but they kicked them out because they weren't generating the money like Panasonic and other companies, right? So it was almost looking like Sony was about to fold. And the thing of it was that there was some Xbox people out there was like, hell yeah, let Sony go away, let Xbox run this, right? Because Nintendo had the Wii U, and it just looked like, well, Xbox. And I never agreed with that. Like, I've never been the biggest Sony fan, even though I got a lot of Sony products in my house, but I am a PlayStation fan. And so I looked at it from a standpoint of where, hey, look, if Amazon or some other company, Japanese company, whatever, that bought PlayStation and made it work better, then that's good, because you don't want PlayStation to be the only show in town. You don't want Nintendo to be the only show in town. You don't want Xbox to be the only show in town. Well, it's the same thing with on the PC side with these apps. You do not want Steam has been pretty much in the monopoly. They have been running everybody, and everybody's gone to it because that's been the biggest show on town. Epic is now coming in and saying, look, we're going to make you work. And that right there is why the competition is good. They were when the developers. There was somebody. I said this also. You didn't bring up this point, but I will. I'll help you out.
Bring it up, man. Let's go.
I said, let's just say that your game. Let's say that you our brother the Don, right? Let's say Don made his game and he had it on the Steam. He put it on Steam, and he sold 90 million. 90 million by the Steam standard. By paying that 30%, he has to. You know what I'm saying? He has to pay close to 30 million to Steam by getting that, you know what I'm saying? But to
so
Steam,
that's the developer side of it.
Yeah, okay, so I'm just saying, looking at it from that standpoint. Then you take it, you see the competition over here, and they're saying, look, man, we'll cut you 10 to 12, 15%. That's 15% less. That's 15 to 20% less than what.
So that's the developer thing. That is a developer side of things, though.
Right.
Let me come at you, because I got an answer when it comes to the whole Xbox and PlayStation thing. All right. Okay. You don't want either one of those companies to stand by themselves in the gaming industry. I agree with you on that. And the reason why I agree with you on that, the top three, Nintendo, Xbox, and PlayStation, when it comes to console gaming, has not had a great track record. They have done things. They have put things in place. 360 with the paywall when it came to Netflix, all that stuff, and you had to have gold. There's a track record with Xbox, with PlayStation, and Nintendo. And they didn't do good things. So I'm asking you, what has Steam done, okay, that would warrant, hey, we need competition and competition is good. Because before Epic Games came out, I heard a lot of people, all they did was praise Steam, and they said how the console should really emulate what Steam's doing, and all that good stuff. I never
Nah,
heard complaints about Steam.
Yo, Bot, let me tell you something real quick. Yo, I don't mean to cut you off, but you know what? As far as with Steam used to be hot garbage. Steam was trash, and their customer service was atrocious, bro.
It used to be.
Used to be. It wasn't until that shit happened in Australia that they changed their whole little stance around. But they were like dictators, bro, because you only could buy shit from Steam. So they sent you emails when they felt like it. You weren't getting a refund, kid. You bought it, you stuck. Bro, y'all think that PlayStation shit was bad? Steam shit was terrible until that shit happened in Australia.
All that and
all right. So
when was that whole Australia?
Epic,
when did that go down?
Because of what? Because of GOG, and because there was other companies that was getting some of these games. What made Steam be like the monopolies? Because they had all of these indies. They got all these smaller players. Because it's just like what we see with this generation, with so many of these developers wanting to the PlayStation, because that is the console leader. So Steam is the biggest place for where the most gamers play. So of course they're going to do that. And instead of trying to do the decent thing, Steam said, you know what? We're going to raise the price on your ass. And that's, and you know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, the gamers didn't get no damn incentive. The gamers didn't get a discount on these games. They sit there and they still have to pay the same amount for when those games first dropped, and then they may have and whenever they sell, that game may or may not have been in those.
Steam sales, from what I hear, have been epic. Steam sales have been absolutely epic, from what I hear.
I get this, but this is no different from what this is business. I am not mad at Sony for what they did, and I said this on GRG last night. I am not mad for what Sony did by undercutting Microsoft. That's business. Sony was just coming out of getting their ass kicked from everything, from all over, not because of the stupid sales shit, because everybody knows the darling of last gen was the 360 and the Wii. That's it. PlayStation.
The Wii killed it in sales all the way through, but
yeah, all right. Yeah. But the thing of it was is that PlayStation had to make this shit work. So they undercutted the shit out of Microsoft. They could have been buddy, like, yeah, we're going to do the same thing, bro. And then when that came out, they didn't drop the price. Sony was like, oh, and that's even been in reports. That's just business. That goes from, somebody told me a long time ago, when you see these companies, when you see a company and you see these mom and pop stores and they come out here and they're doing it, you know what these big companies do? They take a loss, they take a loss, they take a loss, they take a loss, they take a loss to undercut, to make sure that little company do not thrive, because they know, and they'll take the loss because when they know that little company can't survive anymore, they'll go ahead and then they'll recoup all their money back because they ain't got that competition. Epic is like, you know what? We got the capital, we got the money. So we're going to give you everything that you can take and make people start exposing you for what you really are. Mm-hmm. And it started with the developers seeing all this shit, and you see how these publishers.
I don't see a lot of PC gamers looking at it the way you do, though, bro.
Well, because look, just like Prince said, they're fucking fickle. Like they think that everything has to be a certain way, but then they talk bad about us because of the whole console war shit, and now they're starting their own war, the app war. They're stupid as hell.
App war. The just store war.
If you don't want to support Epic, you're not being forced into it. You just wait. And then for what you just said, that you can still take the game and put it into the Steam store. I mean, still put it in your Steam games list. Mm-hmm. What the hell is the fucking problem? They just don't want to give Epic any money when Epic is actually helping out the developer. And
I see that.
I'm all about like, look, hey, it is what it is, man.
The only thing that I can say.
Money. I mean, make it good for me as the gamer.
When I see this, when I look at it from a distance, because you know me, I'm not into PC gaming. I'm definitely a console plug and play type gamer. All right, and that's the way I like to do things. But I see Epic trying to get in here. All right, not having as many features as Steam would inherently at its core, with like the friends list, party chat, everything like that.
But how long is Steam? I mean, look, everybody has to crawl before they walk, but I mean, this is the thing. Like, just because some people
Dude,
tell
do you go to a grocery store and if it only has milk at that point in time and nothing else, do you still just go and buy milk there?
That's like when you first go into any new business, they're not going to have what Walmart or Target has. They're always going to be short, and then when they build themselves up, then that's what it is. For whatever that reason, for that customer to feel convenient to keep going to that particular store that may not have been prominent when it first came out, but it will eventually because of the support. That's what this is. I mean, look. It is what it is. If they don't want to do it, if they don't want to buy the game, then they don't have to buy the game. But all this bitching and moaning is ridiculous. That's like if we was bitching because God of War will never come to the Xbox. That's fucking stupid.
Has anybody gone to the Epic Store lately, just on the PC, to see what's on there?
Yeah, I did all the time.
Let me.
The dog.
Oh, here we go.
Real quick. So I looked on here. Let me see what they have on here, right? Because, like, first of all, blame the Fortnite people, because that's what made Epic is. They were already there.
Well, that made them a ton of money to do.
Yes, and it's still making them a ton of money. So they, so all you Fortnite players out there, you PC Fortnite players, that's your own fault. You made them rich, and now they figure something else out. So I'm looking on here, and I'm looking at the games they have on here. They have Ashen on there.
Nice.
They got Detroit Become Human on there.
That's a movie.
But I mean, like they're putting games in the store, like Borderlands, Division 2, I think had exclusive some rights too, didn't it? On their store?
I believe it did. We gotta ask Dark. Dark knows all about that. So.
Well, there's some games that remember
it was Metro.
Yeah, there was
Metro. Yeah.
There's some publishers that just won't even fuck with Steam. You see that, and now that there's other publishers out there that's going to start having their own apps, like Capcom. And we're even hearing that Bandai Namco is going to start having their own as well. Like they're trying to get out there.
Bandai, they won't let me put their games out, like stream their games. Man.
Oh, I beat Square Enix and
you beat them?
I beat them. Yep, I beat them.
Oh, shout out! Hold on. We got to give them a KO. We got to give them a KO. We're doing it right now. Oh yeah.
All the three, what was it? 2 or 3 GRGs, because I was showing the gameplay of Final Fantasy and then and they hit me, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And of course, it took a while, but I finally got all my stuff released, and then I got one from Banco Namco, and then there were it was like 3 days, and they released it because I was just like, "Man, that's my gameplay. That's my game."
Did you say Bamco Namco?
I'm sorry. I
couldn't let that go, man. I couldn't let that go.
Namco Bandai. But yeah, no, Namco was cool, but Square Enix was being dicks, man. They waited till the last minute till they released it.
Nice. Now, we do have the Don in here, and he does bring a perspective as a developer. So I'm really interested to hear what the Don says about the whole the Epic Games Steam kind of like war going on the PC side. Brother, you can't deny that you do have a unique side to this with looking at it. What do you think about what's going on here, man?
I don't get it.
All right.
I realistically don't get it. Like, I understand there's certain features people like about the Steam store and they're attached a little bit, but for the most part, a PC is an open platform. Mm-hmm. Isn't that the biggest argument for PC and PC gaming?
Yes, sir.
So this is pretty much it being an open platform and being competitive.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's
what it is. I mean, at the end of the day, you're not being told you can't play those games. You have full access to them. You're not being restricted. The only restrictions you're putting on is the individual gamers putting the individual restrictions on themselves.
That is true, because they're like, I'm not going to play that. And from what I hear with Steam, you can take a non-Steam game, put it into your Steam library, and have your chat, your friends list, everything kind of set up there. Now, does Steam, for anybody who dabbles in Steam, do they have like achievements for their games and stuff like that?
Yeah, they kind of have their own version of that, and so you will be missing out a little bit on that. So I can see where they're coming from, and that's a feature of Steam that's been. It came around mostly because, well, the competition, right? The console space. The console space kind of pushed that. So my thing is this. the first people you always have to win over is the developers. That's what's going on here. That's always step one. That's what Steam did when they first opened up, and that's what Epic's doing right now. And that's really the kind of just more or less the big part of it. The store is not anything new. I've been using this store before they started putting games on it, because it's what I have had access to when I use Unreal Engine. So I can buy, certain assets and stuff like that. I can put my own assets on the store, and make money that way and things like that. So
if you want to play with Don's assets, they're in the store. That's what he's saying.
Some things are, some things are. You can actually purchase them off the store. So, not on the game store, but the Unreal Engine interface you can. So that's.
Snap says you can sell cards that are earned through like the Steam like achievements type feature.
Yeah, and then that's further in depth than I personally even got far into Steam. I mean, here's the thing: I don't think Steam has competed in the space for the developers, and the prices are a reflection of that. And so, the biggest thing, and Gabe Newell said, and he was right when he said, the free market will dictate the price of things, and that's the reason why Steam games become so cheap. This is the free market being competitive on earning the dollar of the individual developer. That's all it is. So it's its own formula working against them, to be totally honest with you.
Is he even upset about this? It's more, I see it more from the PC gamers. I don't see anybody at Steam getting all like their feathers ruffled here because of this whole thing.
Yeah, no one's getting laid off or anything like that in regards to that. But they are going to probably, over time, if this continues to get traction, then they're going to have an answer in regards to that. And that's fine. I think that's what we should do, is if you like Steam, you should encourage them to have an answer to this in regards to that. I've never been a huge fan of Steam, to be honest with you. When I release my game, I'm not releasing it on Steam. If I own the individual publishing rights when the time comes, I'm probably not going to release on Steam unless they change their policies. If they change their policies, I can have an open conversation. I'm okay with that. But where they're currently at right now, well, they haven't earned my talent. I mean, it's simple as that.
I can definitely see, and from you being a developer, and I'm not saying this is a bad thing. You look, as a developer, you look at Steam and what they have to offer. Now, granted, they do have a large consumer base over there, right?
Yeah, they do.
All right, and then you look at Epic, and with what they're doing with the developer, I can definitely see you going more that way if you're going to release the game on PC than Steam.
Well, my customer's not walled off. They have access to get in it no matter what. Yeah. So, like, what Steam offers is, when someone's engaging in Steam, obviously you're engaging almost in their storefronts every single time. If you think about it, just like when you turn on your Xbox or your PlayStation, the storefront's right there. So there's a little bit less of a barrier, I guess you can look at it from that perspective. But for the most part, if I catch people's eyes, they'll know where to get it in regards to that. And here's the thing is, like, we want competition to be a thing. If you like Steam, cool. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, and if you like what Epic's doing, cool. And some of these other companies, as far as all that stuff goes. But there's no reason for people to have to go there, or for developers have to go there. And that's kind of just like the harsh reality. I don't think people realize. I also think there's a reason why I'm also Microsoft's friendly with Steam. Steam is one of Microsoft's biggest customers.
Oh yeah, I believe there was Xbox Live code found somewhere in Steam as well, and people started talking about.
It's not even that. They pretty much make money off everything that's on Steam. So, like, that's what I'm saying. Like,
they make money off PlayStation games as well. So
they do. But that's what they said. Like, and even Phil said it like way back in the day. So yeah, Steam is one of our biggest customers.
Peter Young did point out about the use of the free engine on the Epic store, and that would be huge. Now, Don, do you know, is it like really free use of the engine if you're putting the game on their store?
No. So it's free use of the engine, period, right now.
Period. Oh wow.
Period. Yeah, exactly. But some things are not free, right? So, like, if you don't have full range of assets, for example. So either you have to create your own shaders and port them in, or your own textures or your own models, obviously, or you can purchase things because they have their own separate store for developers. And so basically, as I said, I can post things and vice versa. Some code I backwards engineer. I buy something, I'm like, okay, this is kind of what I wanted to do, and I can learn how they did it, and then I can backwards engineer what I want to do in regards to that. And I change it, I own it because I paid for it, and I have the rights to it. And that's kind of how it works on the development side of things. So it's, this is, as I said, this is just a storefront for gamers versus developers. What Steam's really doing is they're basically saying, you know what, we're going to take less of a percentage of your game when you release when it's on our store. That's all they're saying.
Oh, Epic, you mean, right?
Yeah, Epic is. So I'm sorry.
No,
so what Epic? Sorry. What Epic says is, hey, I'm going to take less money out of your wallet if you release it on our store.
Yeah.
And so that kind of makes it a no-brainer, right? So
and also paying for like timed exclusivity and stuff like that. That's more money going to the developer.
That's
as well.
more stuff they're kind of digging into, because obviously you notice some things don't run on Unreal. They're on the Epic store.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, they're diving into that as well. But they really do incentivize anyone that uses Unreal. Basically, they give them a lot of incentives instead of, because I can still release on Steam if I wanted to. What would happen is Epic would take a higher percentage, and then you would have Steam taking a higher percentage. So it's like a double dip situation.
Yeah.
In that scenario. So, and I get less of it. Now, I don't really feel as bad about Epic taking a bigger portion of that because, well, they provide the engine. I didn't make the engine, and that's one of the hardest parts. Don't feel as good about it with Steam, to be honest with you. You just have a storefront. You're no different than, honestly, a GameStop, to be frank with you, in a lot of ways. Right. So, I mean, I guess there's additional features. People are attached. I totally get it, but it's kind of silly.
Basically, for lack of a better term, and I know you might try to stay away from like saying all this and everything, but and I believe the panel said it earlier. It's basically a fanboy war going on now in PC space. Is that pretty much what it is, for no real rhyme or reason then?
Yeah, I mean, they have emotional attachment, so yeah, I guess you can call it that. And I think people are also attached to some of the features goes along with. But if you're not attached to the features, then I don't really see the main issue. And to be honest with you, those features kind of fly in the face of everything because it's an open platform. That's what a lot of people use that argument for. So let an open platform be an open platform.
All right. Well, check this out. I don't know, Knox, are you still in here, brother? I think nope. All right. Knox had to back out. He did say he had to leave early. Huge shout out to Knoxximus. Always a fun time having him here every week. Every Saturday to talk games and stuff. But anybody else have anything to say about this? Because like I can kind of see where you guys are coming from, and to a certain extent, I can kind of see where people are looking at it like, wow, they're just kind of like paying their way with less features and stuff for their store. So, but at the end of the day, hopefully Epic, they fill out their features and stuff like that, and be out there. I didn't hear anything about Steam being a bad company to where it was like, well, they have a monopoly and they're just going to be lazy and they're just going to do this or do that. I never heard any PC gamer saying, you know what, I hate Steam.
Well, I think most PC gamers, I think the majority, they win the fan base there, but what they have not won is the developer over time. I think the developers, they don't want to openly like trash Steam, right? But they're obviously not happy, small and big, because small and big are both looking for alternative ways to not release on Steam.
Okay, all right. Well, and with that, you're talking developers, and I'm talking about because
they're a customer too. You always got to think of it that way.
Yeah,
right?
I'm talking more the gamer side though. The people who are bombing Borderlands right now and giving it ratings of 0 because they're mad about it being on Epic.
Those people are irrelevant, bot. Those people should not be qualified as a gamer. That period.
Okay.
That to me, I mean, let's think of that realistically. Like that's like for us. Let's say that anybody on this panel, we had access to give reviews on games, and because any like Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War, Bloodborne, all these other games, and we all gave them zeros, we would be irrelevant as hell as people as not only YouTubers but as gamers, because you have such a tissy fit about that game not being on something that on something that you prefer. That is trash. You should not be called anything but an asshole, irrelevant.
Well, I mean, you don't have to say it, but we all think it, right? I mean,
Right.
that's the harsh reality is this. I mean, well, correct me if anyone to purchase on Steam, because I actually try to avoid Steam. I actually don't like the service.
I don't buy games on PC, so I'm actually dependent on like Mega, on Pred to kind of give me.
Yeah.
The
So
ins and outs,
do they make you do reviews? Oh, not make you do reviews. Are you only eligible for reviews after you purchase a game, or can you review a game?
Oh, no, after you purchase the game, you got to purchase.
Only after you purchased it.
Yeah.
So these people have already purchased the game, probably played the game,
Right.
and now they're upset, but they already own it on the service they want.
Right.
I mean, that just doesn't make any sense.
That's what I'm saying. Like and if you went back and reviewed, and if you could go back and see what they reviewed the game at the time, it was all positive. Like that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, this is what I said in my video, is like, look, man, this is not only bad for just gaming, this is bad for just society on just in general. Like these people there's a lot of I mean, I'm pretty sure there was a couple of kids in there that went out there and went straight crazy, but these are some grown ass men and women that went out and they did this, and they're going to be at one point in time the people that's going to be taking care of our old asses. You know what I'm saying? I feel bad for us. Like these people, what is it? Is it never?
I'm making a bomb shelter. That's it.
Never that serious for anybody to want to be in your feelings that much to discredit something that you once loved over business. Look, I mean, if that's the case, then we would be disappointed about all types of shit. So I don't consider those people gamers. I consider
that hurts them even more, dude. Honestly, like let's say you're a Steam person,
right,
and then you do that, or people on Steam say you're not even guilty of that, right? What do you think a publisher is going to look? Should we even bother with that platform in the first place?
Oh, I'm pretty sure there's some. I mean, that's why it's so even. And you know what? I would go to Steam to look at reviews because I find them to be some of the most credible out of reviews on certain games. Like, I mean, there would be people that would actually do better than most journalists when it comes to reviewing. And I'm like, wow, they go in full in depth. But this gives a black eye to all of these people just because you don't know who the hell is. I mean, when you do know, you can read by names, but I'm just saying you just don't know if they can flip and do the same thing just because they're in their feelings about some crazy ass situation.
Mega, you see my fire gameplay, by the way, right? I'm just saying, throwing it out there, man.
So you got HDR television, you play a black and white game. It's a good
not
game,
black and white. It's not.
You play a
There's
black and
color
white
there.
game.
Dude, adjust the color on your monitor, man. There's color there, right?
No. I saw you playing that black and white game.
Black and white Bushido. That game is amazing, man. What are you talking about? That game's a lot of fun.
I'm still not understand why you ain't played the gameplay that I gave you 2 weeks ago.
Because you won, and we didn't go live last week.
Oh, that's right, I did win.
So that's in line for next week, and it's good because man, you can build up. So when you don't,
I love how
I'm giving you some new stuff this weekend. So yeah.
Why you got to make excuses, bot? Huh?
Yo, shut up, Dark. Yeah, Dark. Where's your gameplay, Dark? Hold on, Dark. Where's your gameplay, huh?
I don't have one. Man.
Yeah, exactly. You got scared, so you don't put gameplay on anymore.
Scared? Oh, okay.
You got scared.
Okay. All right. Just wait. I'm gonna have some fire gameplay for you guys one day.
Hashtag vote for the Angry Otter.
Hashtag nobody ever votes for the Angry Otter. So.
Well, guys, I think we milked this cow long enough. I mean, it was a great topic. hearing everybody, kind of chime in and be so passionate about it, it's one of the reasons why people come and check us out every Saturday. And that was just another banger right there. You never know, maybe we'll get into that zone again with this next topic, because it seems that people are upset with Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. Dark, is this why you came in? You saw that topic, you're like, yo, I gotta
yeah.
get in on this.
Yeah. Yeah.
To the point where people are saying they should put an easy mode in that game and for games like that. So this way, other gamers who don't like to play hard games can experience the story. I think this is absolutely insane. Yo, well, Dark, since you chimed in for this, I'm gonna let you go first, brother. What do you think
Alright.
about getting an easy mode on games like Sekiro, maybe Dark Souls, Bloodborne? Is this something that you think the developers should put into the game?
Funny thing is I saw somebody created a mod where they made it so that you're faster. So it basically is an easy mode for PC, and it's completely ridiculous. Like it's completely easy mode, and it's terrible. Like it's like I don't understand. Like I guess I kind of get it, because I know a lot of people are all for the whole, like every gamer should play all these, any game that they want to play. But that's the thing, like not every game is for everybody, like
Mhm.
I don't understand why they're trying to make it seem like this game needs to cater to everybody, because of the fact that it's difficult. There's plenty of guides out there, there's plenty of walkthroughs out there that'll help you get through this game. And any of the Souls games, even if you have to wait a couple weeks to play it, like there's plenty of things that you can do to make it easier on yourself, because I mean a lot of these games have special items that you can pick up that'll help you in the game to defeat certain bosses and things like that. So I mean, from my standpoint, I think it's completely ridiculous as to why people would want to
And this is where he's going to be like, but I can see where people are coming from to be kind of like
No, I
politically
don't.
correct right here.
No, I don't.
No?
I don't even know why people are listening to a fucking Forbes magazine article that Forbes don't know shit about video games. Like, what are you guys doing listening to a freaking Forbes article about some dude that's been saying this for years? This dude has been saying this for years. Even when Bloodborne was out, he said this. Even when Dark Souls 2 was out, he said this stuff. Like, this dude has been saying this for a long time. Like, it's never gonna change. Like, I don't even know
in
why
other
he
words,
keeps
he doesn't
trying to
want to
make
get
these
better,
articles.
but he wants to beat the game, so he keeps
Well,
coming out.
he wasn't really talking about himself, I don't think. He was really talking about people who are disabled, but that's the thing. Like, now we have the
Hold on,
adaptive
he brought the
controller.
disabled into it?
He brought the disabled into it, and I was just like, yeah, but now we have the adaptive controller that comes with the that Xbox and Microsoft made.
Mhm.
You got plenty of things nowadays that people who are disabled can play these types of games. I've seen people who are disabled play these types of games, and they're freaking badass. They're more badass than I am.
Of course.
Like I'm like, there's times where I'm like, oh my god, this dude's like way better than I am. Well, like, all right, well, I died like a million times on that boss
Well,
or whatever, and this
brother,
kid like,
check this out. I just wanted to let you know, the geeky nerd, and I feel like this is going, kind of like towards you on this topic and everything. He basically said, but this entire generation, all we've been hearing are options are good.
right.
So
No,
why is this different?
there is a possibility that they could do this. They could do it, but they would have to change mechanics of these games that people love. Certain types of those types of mechanics would be probably taken out of these types of games. The mechanics that people love of these games will be taken out if they do put in an easy mode. And really honestly, especially in this game, the hardest bosses that you fight are like ones that you wouldn't even expect to be hard. Like the ones that you expect to be hard are freaking easy, and the ones that you don't expect to be hard are like ridiculous, and you're like, what the hell? How did this even happen? And it's like, I mean, I get where Geeky's coming from, where the whole
See, there's the PR, there's the politically correct right there, man.
the options thing. Yeah, I get that, but that's the thing. Like,
you have the option not to
every
play
game, you have the option of not playing it. And plus, there's plenty of games to play right now. Like, I mean, there's Division 2, there's freaking
There's Destiny
what's
2.
coming out this month, freaking Mortal Kombat 11 and Days Gone. Like, you're gonna have plenty of games.
Went right by it, yeah.
Yeah, I don't care about that game anymore. It's just I can kind of see where people are coming from, where they want like to be able to play this game because it looks cool, because it is cool. It's a cool game. Like, don't get me wrong, like it is definitely cool and it's definitely hard. But I think if you did take out that hard difficulty, it wouldn't be as good of a game. To be honest, I don't think the game would be.
I think it would lose
as much fun either.
For lack of a better term, I think it would lose its soul. Like,
it would.
It would. Pun intended, right?
Pun intended. Yeah, definitely. I agree with that. I think it would lose its soul. It would just it wouldn't have as much hype as it does right now. These games get so much hype and so much people talking about it because of the fact that they're hard and the fact that they're, once you beat a boss, you're absolutely ecstatic because you spent hours on that boss, and you're yelling from the rooftops like, yes, I freaking finally beat him. It's that adrenaline, I think, would be taken away,
man. And if they have an
exactly.
easy mode, it's just like, yeah, okay, what's next? You know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly. And I mean, I did hear some people saying, oh, well, there's never been proven where if you put an easy mode in a video game, it makes the game worse. And I'm just like, yeah, but I've even heard people make arguments about Mass Effect. Like, yeah, Mass Effect 1 and 2 were really good. 3 was okay, but Andromeda was fucking shit. And of course, yes, it was made by a different, part of BioWare, but it was still crap. Like, I mean, I don't, do you want these games to go crappy because you put in an easy mode? No, I don't think anybody wants that.
All right. Yo, Mega, I'm pretty sure you have an opinion on this. If you covered this last night, I did not get a chance to catch that. But
yeah, no, we didn't. I forgot to do it, which I need to take that off that list. But I'm pretty much on the same page as Otter to a certain extent. I look at it from I talked to a developer or a writer last week, and we went back and forth. It was a cordial conversation, but he brought up about the disability, the disabled and things like that. And I made this point to him. I said, look, there may be people out there that may want to fly, but if they don't have the license or the credentials to get out there to fly a plane, then they just can't do it, and they will just go do something else. It's just the same way if you want to drive big trucks, you got to have a CDL. If you don't have that CDL, if you don't go work for it and earn it, then therefore you will not be able to drive a big truck.
I got to go get a CDL, man. I want to drive a truck.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So it's like, so he was like, well, what about the disabled and things like that? Well, I'm like, look, the disabled can do certain things, but for the most part, a lot of them are comfortable in their space of maybe going out there and getting rides instead of wanting to get.
All right, Mega, I'm sorry. I got to stop you right there real quick, because hearing this whole disabled thing to me is a crutch. All right, there has been disabled people who were born without arms, playing symphonies on a piano, painting masterpieces with their feet, like using a paintbrush and stuff like that. So I feel that when people are talking about handicaps or disabilities or something like that, they're using it as an easy way to prove a shallow point.
Well, I agree, and that's why I said, but there are other people out there that's handicapped that likes the situation that they are in, and maybe they don't even have the funds to get the certain items that they need to want to go drive or want to go hiking or want to go do these things. Maybe they just like to sit back and just do the things that they're doing within their own space. I said that that's the same thing that's going on with this game. Like, look, I want to play this game. I really do. But I'm not trying to play the $60 because I know me. If I play this game and then this game is as crazy as Dark Souls is, I'm not going to play it anymore, and I'll just waste $60. That's where I'm like, man, look, if somebody gives it to me, it'll give me more motivation to stream it and to work through it to play it than me just paying for it because I'll be like, fuck this, I'm not doing it no more.
I understand that definitely. I mean, this game is definitely a little bit easier though than Dark Souls. I'm just saying.
Well, and Ninja Gaiden is as far as I can go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and this is kind of what this game is.
Well,
This
dude,
is
and
exactly
see, with
pretty much
Ninja
what this
Gaiden,
game
check this out, and this is what I compared it to. Like
Mhm.
when they redid, Team Ninja came in, redid Ninja Gaiden. There are points in that game. That game does not hold your hand at all. I haven't played Dark Souls yet. Actually, my son has Dark Souls 2. I'm gonna download it. I'm gonna play it. He's gonna let me borrow it. I'm gonna check it out. Right?
Don't play Dark Souls 2. That's the worst one, dude.
I'm going to.
Hey, you gotta go all in, man.
You asked me to do it, and I'm going to do it. I'm finna probably record some gameplay of me playing Dark Souls 3 because I got it on the PC and I got it on Xbox too. So I'll jump in and I'll play it, and you'll just see me fail because I get so annoyed because the controls are so nasty. It's not that I can't take a fighting a boss a million times. It's that the controls are so bad and that they make the boss have so much more of an advantage that it just turns me off. Like, you did this shit on purpose. It's garbage to me. Get it. So shout out to Luca for standing for that. But to me, I'd rather go in here and do something else that's hard.
Now check this out, yo, Mega, and the Geeky Nerd, he is on fire right now in the chat.
Mhm.
Basically, he said Monster Hunter World is a lot less punishing than the other Monster Hunters, and it went on to be Capcom's best-selling game ever. So,
well, I don't know. I've never played any other Monster Hunter except for the Monster Hunter.
I'm taking him on his word, man. He's been on point,
right.
With
he
his
could be
right.
right.
Stuff like that.
And that could possibly be for Dark Souls if they do have an easy mode. But eventually, I'm telling you, it's shown, like I've seen it plenty of times where games have done this and they've become crappy after a while.
Well, I don't think that. Look, as much as I'm not a fan of the Dark Souls franchise, I don't want them to change because they have a fan base. They have people that expect these games to be a certain way. And me personally, I wouldn't go buy that game because as me, I don't ever play on easy mode. I rarely play on normal on most of the games I play. I like to play on the most difficult, the second or the most difficult.
I jumped in when he was playing Gears on the hardest difficulty.
Right, yeah.
And then I jumped out.
You played a couple of matches and you was like, Mega,
I'm good.
Yeah, well, you made an excuse. You didn't say that you was.
No, I actually just slid out.
Yeah,
he was ducking for a while. I
didn't
remember
even
that.
tell you, man. I just dubbed out. I'm like,
yeah. Bot just was like, hey, man, I gotta go eat. And then I was like, man, you gonna come on and jump on and play Gears with me? I ain't never heard anything else from Bot on that. Like, I don't. Like,
wait. Megan, didn't you like make some macaroni and cheese? I remember both sitting there. It's like, how long does it take to make macaroni and cheese?
Exactly. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so, like, of course, and me and Don has been streaming us playing Halo games on Legendary. I played The Witcher on the highest difficulty. That was the next to the highest difficulty. It was the highest difficulty. The next, I can't remember. Whatever. It wasn't easy. It wasn't normal. That's for damn sure.
It wasn't normal.
That's why it took me so goddamn long to beat it. But the thing of it was that I like the challenge, but when it comes to these certain games like this, I'm like, it's unnecessary. But Sekiro looks like it's on that Ninja Gaiden style, but then yet when I was watching Kid Smooth and how he was playing, and then
dude, he plays it so wrong. Don't watch him, dude. Do not compare this.
And I'm like, what's going on here? Why is
he doesn't play it right? That's why.
So yeah, I do want to play it.
They have rescinded his best bot card, and they actually sent it to me in the mail. I am the best bot. All right, it has been rescinded from Kid Smooth, brother.
So here's the thing: a lot of people don't go and farm and try to get their abilities and acquire their skills. A lot of people don't try to, get certain types of items in the game. They don't look in every corner. They
Yeah,
just kind of just run through to get the boss and then get to the next boss, and then that's not really what's going to help you in these types of games.
and that's what to me is cracking me up when you have those type of people that will come into me and talk about achievement points and all and trophies and all that bullshit, and they're like, "Oh, you just now beat this game. You just now beat this game. What? It took you a couple of years." Because I do that. I look under. Don plays a lot of games with me. He knows. I'll look under every crook and cranny that I possibly can. I take forever. That's why when I was streaming God of War, I was looking around and then there was people that were saying, "How did you know that was there? You must have played this game before." No, I just go looking around. I don't just run just to get to a narrative just to say that I beat the game. I like to look at it.
Pretty much treats every game like an Easter egg hunt.
I do. I do.
No, that's the way I did that with Destiny 2 in the story. When there's
And
no
that's what's
need
good
to.
about these types of games. You can do that, and you'll be rewarded for it.
Right, and if that's the case, then I would love to play Sekiro, but I just but if it's Dark Souls, I can't do it. It's just I don't have the time because I work a lot, and I don't, you know what I'm saying. And look, I do want to get through the game, and I don't mind taking 100 hours if that's what it takes for me. When it could take somebody else maybe 35, because I do look around for every nook and cranny, but I just don't like the control schemes with Dark Souls. If they have the control schemes to where you can dodge, move properly, and it looks like you can, I'm with it. I want to play it. I really do. I just don't want to spend the $60 for it, man. I really just don't.
I'll tell you right now,
But easy mode, hell no.
I'm about 50 hours into Sekiro, and I haven't even finished it yet because I'm looking just like you, looking every freaking corner, nook and cranny to find items.
Guys,
that
what are you
I
gonna
may
think
need.
what do you think I'm gonna do when Halo Infinite drops and it's really that true, more kind of like open world experience and has RPG elements to it? I'm going everywhere on that map, and I'm trying to find everything.
Everything, like that's the thing that's reward, because the game developers reward you for looking like that. Okay, like right now, while we've been talking, I've been playing Odyssey. I said I'm going back to the backlog, right? I've been playing Odyssey since I got up this morning. I started playing it like about 10 o'clock this morning. I'm on the same island. I ain't going anywhere. I'm on the same damn.
But you're still having fun, and you're like looking everywhere to find shit, right?
Yes, I'm looking to take. And then like when you have the little missions, the side missions or quests that's going on, I'll like get to a certain spot because you can kind of tell when you're about to get to the climax of it, and then I'll just go looking around. I'll just start traveling, and then you go into another side quest, and I'm like, oh, I'm going over here. I've been on that for this. I'm already close to I'm like at 80 hours on this game. And I could go beat the story right now. I'm a level 42 because I think you're supposed to be you can be a level 35 and you could beat the game. But I get so immersed into these type of games. That's why I agree with Don. I don't want these games to get any bigger. Odyssey is Odyssey is big as it gets. Odyssey
I think I'm boycotting Assassin's Creed moving forward if the rumors about the new one.
How dare you?
Well, man, Odyssey and The Witcher 3, that's as big as it needs to be. There shouldn't be no games bigger than those two games, period. The Odyssey is like insanely big. Like I'm like, what? But you know me, I'm gonna go through it like a comb through hair, baby. I'm gonna check every island, every landscape, every person.
You're talking about there, buddy.
40-year-old with a comb over. Oh
yeah. Do that 40-year-old with a comb over, baby. That's exactly what I'm gonna do.
Why did it have to be 40? I don't understand.
I'm in my 40s and my hair
rolls off
long.
the tongue, basically. Like you gotta. Yeah, if you're like a 38-year-old with a comb, like you stumble over.
So Dark, are you saying you have a comb over?
No, I'm not.
No,
saying
he's got
that
a
at all.
mullet.
I'm just wondering why
he's got a mullet.
40.
He does the business in the front, party in the back.
See, 40 is like that time period when you buy like a Corvette.
Oh, I want a Corvette. Oh, damn. I would love a Corvette, man.
I could see Bot driving a Corvette.
Hell yeah. 130 on I-95, no problem.
With a toupee.
Oh no, it'd be long gone.
Calling him Sinead Ponybot.
Shouldn't
Wow,
have-
you're bringing up blast from the past today, brother.
Oh, that'll never die, bot.
Oh my goodness.
Never
Yo,
die, man.
yo, Pred, what do you think about this whole easy mode thing, man? You've been quiet for a while. I'm not sure if these difficult games like are your speed, if there's something you get into. But do you think they should add an easy mode to the games that are inherently hard?
Short answer, no. But I do remember Ori when I first got it, and
That goddamn game is hard.
Ori was pretty difficult. But they did come out with an easier version later in the definitive edition. But I'm not a fan of dropping the difficulties because people think the game's too hard. Now, I have Sekiro, but like I'm not a master at it. I mean, I'm still in the very early stages of the game, but I did have to learn how to play differently because I wanted to rush in and just fucking start fighting. And I realized I had to actually farm a little bit and go back to where the crazy guy was and, kind of gear up a little bit before I went into some of the fights. So, yeah, Dark is absolutely right about that aspect of it. You can't just go in thinking I got a sword, I'm good. Like you got to go in and learn some abilities and shit too. So, and it's as far as what Mega was saying, like the controls, I didn't like the control layout, so I changed some of the buttons. You can actually go in.
Is it bumper? Is it bumper?
Yeah, your attack is your triggers, I believe, and your block.
The attacks are the bumpers on Xbox, and it's the bumpers on Xbox are so bad, man.
Yeah,
So
I switched
bad.
it to the buttons. I switched the attack to the buttons, and so like once I did that and got it used to how I wanted to play it, like I'm still getting my ass kicked, but I'm significantly better than I was before because I hate using the triggers and the bumpers for as my most used part of the game. So I made some adjustments to it, but I'm not a fan of making it easy. Now I will say there are some things they can do to make the game more more friendly to you.
I knew you were gonna use that word too, brother.
Because there are some things like that kind of frustrate me that kind of happen in the game when you're playing, and I think they're like cheap tactics that kill you faster. But outside of that, I wouldn't change it and make it like like you have this incredible amount of health, or your powers are so like OP that you can kill a guy in less than what you should. I don't mind the grind. I just think there's some things that happen in the game that kind of like you're like, what the fuck? You're like some of their like the guy I'm fighting right now, like his range on his sword is ridiculous. Like it's like I roll out of the way and he still hits me. I'm like, well, I'm not even near you, but his sword's reach is like double his length. So I'm like shit like that fucking frustrates me. I hit block and it doesn't block. Some stuff like that. But once you learn the control schemes, you're okay.
You can
do it
always
better.
map. You can map your controller out.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. You can map it out the way you want to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like for me, like Ninja Gaiden was tough back in the day.
Dude,
and
you had
that
to
was
fight
one
a tank with your bow and arrow.
This is
Dude, I
true.
remember that. I remember coming up to that point, and I'm like, yo, what the hell am I gonna use? And I'm like, my boy's
Your
like,
bow and arrow?
you got to use your bow and arrow. And I looked at him like, you're crazy, right? And dude, death after death after death. But I did that shit. I did it.
I beat it. Yeah, I beat that game. My friend was trying to play it too. He didn't get past the second level. And he was like, fuck this game. And I ain't gonna lie, man, Sekiro had me fucking frustrated. But so did Cuphead and so did Ori. So like and I'm sure I've never played Dark Souls. I take that back. I tried to play Dark Souls, and it was one of those games I tried it. I was like, nope, this ain't for me. But I wanted Sekiro because I wanted a ninja game because I hadn't really played a good one in a while. And this game it's really good. But like if I wanted to figure out what the story was behind it, like you can watch it on YouTube. So I'd rather play the game and get it out that way. And once I get done farming crap in the division, I'll jump back on it.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, Division is tough. See, that's the thing too. Division is tough as hell, especially
Division's
once
tough
you beat
solo.
the story.
Division's tough solo. It's a lot
Well, even
better.
when you got players, once you beat the story, and you start fucking with Black Tusk, it's a whole nother ball game, Jack.
I can't wait to get there, by the way. And I got a little more leeway with the ability to play with friends now because Snap's like, yeah, I like the game, but I don't love the game. And I'm like, all right, that means I don't have to wait for Snaps to play that game now. because we were kind of going through it together, and I'm like, all right, that kind of loosened the leash a little bit, and now I can go in and play with more people on my friends list. Yo,
The leash.
yeah, yo, I want to give a huge shout out first off to Saltiest Gaming, who joined the chat. What is up, my brother? And of course, the show wouldn't be complete without giving a huge shout out to my brother Yobi Dren in the chat as well. One of the most positive people on Twitter. You guys need to follow him on Twitter. Comes out with motivational videos every day. And I'm talking like every single day on Twitter. You definitely got to check those out. Guys, you down for one more kind of like lighter topic before we go? I know I had a lot more on the list, but that big one at the end, that can actually roll over to next week because I feel like that'll still be relevant when we come back next Saturday. But if you guys want, I want to talk about this rumor about Halo and how much it is costing right now to make Halo Infinite. And like I said, it's a rumor. You guys want to get into that?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Yeah, I was gonna make a video about it anyway, or get one.
Well, you can. I mean, you can still make videos. Like, you can put the video link underneath the Twitter
Still on
link
YouTube,
to the
Mega?
show.
Yeah.
I'm still on YouTube. I know I ain't been. Man, I've been working 60 70 hours a week. Shit,
I'm just like, Mega's still on YouTube? Wow.
Well,
man.
dude, I haven't even dropped a video because we were looking for houses and we put a bid on a house and it's been absolutely hectic. Unfortunately, guys, we did not get that house either. But I tried to tell Snaps that that's gonna happen. Like I don't know anybody who put a bid on the first house that they put a bid on and actually got it. So
You're looking at one right here.
Yeah.
of course, the Don.
Yeah.
He goes in with his mustache, and that's it. It's like automatically they're handing him the house at half the
Well, they
price.
kissed that ring.
Yeah.
Well, pretty much I just said this is going to happen, and then I made an offer, and it happened. You just have to go in with some authority.
Well, I went in to check out the house with no pants on, and I thought that would do it.
Yeah.
No, you got to warm up to that. Not everyone's ready for that.
Oh, okay. Well, I got to grow a mustache out first.
You're not G like Don is.
I'm trying to get there, man. I'm trying.
Here's the thing: if you're gonna wear pants, you got to make sure you do like corduroy, because then that way they can hear you coming. And you're like, that guy's got some business to walk.
Dang.
All right. Well, check this out, guys. The rumor has it that Halo Infinite has now gone over $500 million in development. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. That means it has officially outpaced Red Dead Redemption 2 in terms of cost for development. Am I right, guys? That I believe that they've gone over Red Dead 2, which is a great game, great story. Freaking love that game. Online, I'm not sure if anybody's playing that anymore. But
no, I haven't played it online.
People are jumping the gun when it comes to this. They're like, yo, 500 million, it's got to be this or it's got to be that. And I want to know, just quick topic, like, what does this rumor mean to you if it's true? And we'll start with you, K Mega. What does this rumor mean to you if it's in fact over 500 million? Are your expectations like now increased even more because of the money they put into it? I know they built a new engine. That's got to take money right there. But what does it mean to you, bro?
Well, that's basically what I think a lot of the money is invested into. If that rumor is true, is the engine. I mean, I listened to the whole Bonnie Ross interview with Ryan McCaffrey, and she did put in the point of that this slip space engine is gonna is the real deal, and they made sure that they wanted to get the bang out of the buck out of the bang, a bang out of the buck, or whatever for what they're doing. And it also brings to me, it kind of settles in my mind what's really happening is that they're going to try to go into the same realm as Destiny, Anthem, The Division with Halo, which I am a whole 100% behind, because I think if you do that, that not only prolongs the Halo universe, but you can add plenty of extra content to bring in other stories.
Halo Strikes, Halo Raids, stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, not only the content for that, but also bringing in other stories with that brings in other protagonists, and that's what that's what gets me more
Are we
excited.
talking about the L word right now, brother?
Yeah, absolutely. Hashtag save Locke. You know what I'm saying?
Locke is
Anyway.
never coming back,
Yeah,
Mega. You
man,
need to give it
you
up,
better
bro.
watch out, man. He's coming.
You need to give it up, bro.
I'm telling you that crew, your crew is not dead. But anyway, regardless of it, it's just that I think that the slip space engine is part of that cost if that number is true. And also, it's like Bonnie Ross said, it's like, look, we know our shortcomings of what we did with Halo 5. We promised the people that were working on Halo 5 that we were going to come back and get it done, but we got caught up into other things with, I think she said, like with Master Chief Collection and Halo Wars or whatever, all the other stuff. But she said we didn't fulfill our end, and they let us know about it, and also the gamers let us know about it because of the fact that the story just didn't resonate like Halo 4's story. So they're going to go all in on this. They're going to make sure that this story is going to be legit. They're going to have everything right. And if they're really changing the whole dynamic of how we play Halo, then I don't see how it wouldn't be that much. And of course, it is the flagship for Xbox. So of course, if you want the GOAT franchise to be to get people excited, then the GOAT franchise has to get that money. So let's go. I'm with it.
Nice. Huge shout out to Salty in the chat. He said that basically, in his opinion, it proves that they are 100% committed to making Halo relevant again. Now, I hear you on that.
Halo has always been relevant.
Yeah, no,
I don't know
feel
what the hell
Halo
that
has
is.
been relevant.
That's ridiculous.
If you look at the beginning of Halo 5, for people who look at sales, within 3 weeks it was up over 5 million. I feel like a lot of people really got into Halo 5's multiplayer. If they didn't really get into the story, that multiplayer made up for a lot of it. I feel like Halo 5's multiplayer, and I know there's people out there that are going to argue with me, they'll disagree. I feel like it's the best multiplayer that has come out of that franchise.
Nobody can't argue that. That is the definite.
Well, there's people that want Halo 3 over and over and over again, and they are ready to argue with me about that.
Halo 3 story was okay. The game was good, but the story was okay. Halo 2 story was amazing, and Halo 1, 2, and then 3 was cool. Then you go over to the ODSTs and the reaches, and then you got Halo 4. Like,
oh, dude, I can't wait to play
when
like
Bungie started petering out, basically.
Yeah, like, I mean, come on. The multiplayer was the thing that was petering out because Halo 4's story was absolutely amazing, but the multiplayer was feeling old and outdated. So, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like, this whole relevant talk is really crazy to me because when you try to compare it to the games that's out now, that, like, okay, because God of War won Game of the Year, it's still not $1 billion franchise. It's still like Halo 5 still got 400 million in that first week. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, there's still over how many millions of people that still play Halo, Don? Like, I mean,
no, this is actually the Halo 5 was, I think the numbers that I've heard is basically it is their most successful Halo.
I mean, Bonnie Ross even said, she said that it was their most yeah, because of the multiplayer, not because of the story. She admitted that the story didn't resonate.
Well,
and that's good. Well, that's good to hear.
About relevancy. That thing is, you know what I'm saying? I mean, Salty, you're entitled to your opinion, bro, but that's that bullshit narrative that we talk about them fanboys, man.
Well, it's not completely true, right? Like the thing is, it is done extremely well. And now, do they acknowledge their shortcomings in their game? Yeah, they're acknowledging those shortcomings, and they're taking those things seriously. But no game is perfect, and no game is not going to be without criticism, especially in today's day and age. So, I mean, whatever's next Halo, people are going to complain about something. But we'll see how well they do on the next Halo. But I mean, Mega's right when it comes to where the money's going. The money's going into the engine. And you guys heard us on Next, and I told you about 343 had a shelf project. We talked about just before E3. And they said, I heard they're going to, whatever that shelf project, they're going to show it off at E3. And guess what they did? They showed off an engine. And so and then you hear this interview with Bonnie Ross like 8 months later, right? So, that kind of confirms what was really going on there. And building an engine's hard. You can build an engine look beautiful. I mean, a lot of companies can do that, right? But building an engine that's easy to work with is the difficult thing. And I think that's what they're really pushing, because what they don't want to do is have the art team basically, or the sound design team, constantly fighting against the limitations of the engine, or how the engine interfaces with those different teams. So it's about streamlining that process, and more you can streamline that process, the more time the developers have time to create better content for the engine. So it all has a symbiotic relationship as far as all that stuff goes. But I would say 5 billion is not, or five, was it, they said 500 million is what they're saying.
500 million.
Yeah, it's not completely accurate, because if you're dumping that into an engine, that's for multiple games, not just one game.
Well, it's probably the one game that's really being developed right now on it, but I can definitely see where you're coming from.
That's where they justify the cost, though. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
They're justifying the cost because they know they're going to get the return through several iterations of the game, and so that's the thought process that you're running into. So yeah, it's not an accurate statement in the sense of, I think the number's accurate, what they're throwing out there, but it's not accurate because it's not just going to be applied to this game. It's going to
hold on, my bad. First off, there is a super chat. Shout out to a long-time listener and long-time person in the chat, Jesse Darby, hitting up the super chat saying, "What's up, my dude?" Talking to me, but right below that, when we're talking about Locke. And Locke coming back, Jesse's like, he'll come back under Master Chief's boot. Oh! Savage right there. That is savage. Mega, what do you think about that, man?
When Locke comes back, I can't wait for everybody to start eating that crow.
See how he flubbed up on that?
He
flubbed up on that? He was just like, well, if they come back, I mean,
I didn't say if.
No, you said we're gonna be eating.
I said when Locke comes back, when Timo Cyrus comes back, there's gonna be a lot of people eating crow, and that's fine. I can't wait.
He got a little choked up there though. It was like the policeman in Happy with Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, and a tear was about to go down, and he sucked it right back up. He's like, "No, man, you guys are gonna eat crow." All right.
I mean, that's just like, you would say that Red Team is not coming back, or Atriox is not coming back.
Atriox is gonna be nasty, dude. Oh my goodness, yo.
Those are completely different characters. They're not shitty characters like Locke.
Oh shit!
I got you. It's all good. But when he comes back, I just can't wait for the. You know what? Well, all this is all I say. If Mega is right, I do want all you guys out there to start hashtagging. Hashtag save Locke. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait.
Here's the thing, Mega. If Locke doesn't come back, I'm sure in the customizations you'll be able to change your visor blue and your character gray. So you should be covered.
Well, I gotta have that. I gotta have that Oni armor too. So
Predator, man, we haven't heard from Predator on this, and I love going to Predator when it comes to the point of talking business and stuff when it comes to gaming, because I feel like even with all the podcasts in this community, I feel like Predator has a great head on his shoulders when it comes to the business side of gaming. So, Pred, what does it mean to you if this rumor is true, over 500 million? Are you going with, most of that is going towards the engine?
That would make a lot more sense to me. The engine, and then the amount of personnel they have, like the names they've got working behind this game. They got to pay those people, So,
that's true.
Think about all the people they've picked up just for the initiative. And if you don't think some of them, Don, you could probably chime in on this too, but I'm pretty sure some of those people have some kind of input on what's going on with Halo. That's their moneymaker right now, and they know if they fuck Halo up again, it's going to become Andromeda. So they cannot come out with a mediocre Halo again this year after the last game they did. So yeah, they've got to throw some money at it. That's how Microsoft tends to solve their problems. So that number is probably accurate. I hope it's not
money came. I think it was all generated by 343. Is my guess. I don't think it was just additional funds brought in. I think that has to do with their previous release title.
They made a lot of money off that. It's like how we were talking about Epic Games around Fortnite. How I was kind of joking, but I was being serious. Like Epic was created through Fortnite with everything they're doing with their store now. It was probably manifested from the money they got from Fortnite, and everything you're getting in Halo, the next Halo, is gonna be money they generated from those rec packs.
Well, that's how games get a bigger budget each iteration, most of the time. So, like, if the next iteration does even better, then they can get more funds, or it's easier to justify funds. They still have to go through approval and things like that, because obviously they got a publisher, Microsoft, in regards to that. But I think you can justify the funds if the previous product that did well. And so a lot of it has to do with that. Like, usually they won't just dump a ton more money; it would be half that. So I mean, that's something people need to think about.
Oh, hold on, he'll be back. We got the fade. I'm surprised that we got it like this late into the show. It happens at least once per show, guys.
Yeah,
so.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess that's what people want to keep in mind. Usually budgets increase based on how well the previous product did. Also, marketing budgets increase based on how the previous product did.
Mm-hmm.
So all that stuff has to be justified.
I don't think that actually equates to this next Halo, though, because it's kind of like the face of the franchise, because they admitted that they, when it comes to the story, it went short to like the fans' expectations and stuff like that. I feel like, all that they're going in all the way on Halo Infinite anyway. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of its success or anything like that.
Yeah.
That's my opinion on that. Like they're
I just hope they make a custom console, and I'll be happy.
I think it'd be hard for me to say yeah to that because I feel like it's going to be a launch title. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, all right, you're coming out with new hardware. Are you gonna launch with new hardware plus a custom console as well?
Man, it's Halo.
I mean, I can see them doing that. I don't know with the people running Xbox right now if they'd be like, yeah, that's a great idea. I would personally do it. I would do it, and that thing would sell insanely. You know what I'm saying? The Halo 5 Xbox One was one of the prettiest limited edition consoles that went out this generation, in my opinion. Yeah. And I would sign off on doing a custom Anaconda or with the new hardware or whatnot. I would sign off on it. I just don't know if Xbox would. I don't know, Don. What do you think the chances of a custom console are with Halo Infinite?
I don't know what they're thinking on custom consoles, so I don't know where their mindset's to make a prediction. To be honest with you on that one,
maybe they'll do what they did with the Scorpio, but like remember how the
very minimalist approach, like they did.
So no, I was gonna say how when the Scorpio or the Xbox One X came out, I won't say Scorpio. When the X came out, they kind of went back and they finally made that custom Minecraft S console. Mm-hmm. So maybe they do a custom One X Halo.
Oh, gotcha. So the trickle down effect.
Yeah,
gotcha.
And then
I know there'll be a controller, people, because they want that controller. Because you can play the controller on console, you can play it on, if you're playing the game on PC, or if you're doing xCloud, you can have that little arm and have it on your controller with your phone. So I can guarantee a controller, guys. But yo, guys, with that being said, we have reached the end of the show.
I don't get to talk about Halo?
No. You think racing is niche, so I kind of figured you wouldn't want to talk about Halo. You might think that's niche as well. Do you think Halo is niche, Dark?
No, I don't.
All right. Well, dude, what does the 500 million kind of like rumor mean to you in terms of looking forward to Halo Infinite?
I don't think 500 million necessarily means it's going to be a bigger game. I think a lot of that is going into its engine. Mm. I think it'll be decent. I hope it's a similarity to Halo 2 and Halo 4's story, which are my favorites in the whole entire franchise. So hopefully they kind of bring that back and make it really good. Multiplayer wise, I think if anything, it'll probably be maybe bigger maps, things like that. I mean, I don't really know, man. I mean, it's really hard to tell, but I mean, the 500 million doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a bigger game. You know, I just want people to know that I don't think it's going to be a bigger game. I think they're just really focusing on putting that engine out there
Cut his mic off.
for the next gen consoles that
What?
that's
Cut
going to
his
just
mic off.
blow any of
Cut
these
his
other
mic
games
off.
out of the water.
How-
And if they kill
Cut
Locke,
his mic
then
off.
I'll buy freaking Halo day one. If they don't kill off Locke, then I'll wait 6 months until they kill him off.
Oh, he'll wait 6 months.
Cut
Oh,
his
back to
mic
Epic.
off.
Oh,
This dude
man.
said it won't be a bigger game if they're changing the whole look and everything, and this is going to be the most expensive Halo to date, then it's going to be a bigger game. Like, I mean, it has no choice. If those rumors are true,
Well, yeah, with the
But it
rumors
doesn't
of the-
necessarily that's just a rumor, and it doesn't necessarily mean that it's gonna be a bigger game. I mean, it could be a lot of
Snap
it.
said Halo
into
Battle
the,
Royale in Halo Infinite.
I mean, that could possibly be, but I think they've misstepped on that. I think that's kind of long gone by now. Because Battle Royale isn't really. I mean, it's still there, but I don't think it's doing as much in the numbers as it used to be doing.
Dude, I like K Mega's idea about the whole kind of like Destiny route. The only thing is, Mega, with that, like the story is going to be centered around Master Chief. The only way for them to continue it in kind of like a Destiny type thing, because you built your characters in Destiny 2. They were your characters, you know, in the story going into strikes and stuff, is to kind of bring back that Spartan Ops type feel where you can build your own Spartan and kind of have them going through strikes and raids and the content like that. That's the only way I can see them really doing the Destiny 2 route. You know
No,
what I'm saying?
you play Master Chief, you get to the end game, and then he dies.
yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
play
we're
it-
done with this show.
That-
Oh
this-
no!
That's exactly how. Okay, this like I mean, yeah, I think that's where they should be going. Is getting ready to start setting up a better, you know, start
Why
setting
does
up the
Mega want to kill Master
universe.
Chief?
Are you
man?
trying to say that they're going to kill off?
Put him in a
They're going to
retirement.
kill off
Yeah,
Master Chief.
They're
If they kill off
eventually
Master
going to
Chief,
kill-
Halo is dead.
You're crazy. If they're
Halo is dead, bro. If they kill
will
off
not
Master
be
Chief,
dead.
Master Chief
Look.
is the most iconic character
Oh
in
my
video games.
the
He-
Halo
if
is
you
not
kill him
Mario,
off,
bro.
it's
Halo is not
over.
Mario. Have you not heard them say that?
You're too much of a Locke fanboy
Halo-
you're
This has got
clouded by
nothing to do with
Locke's
Locke. This got nothing to do with
amazingness.
Locke. This has got to do with the how if you want a saga to you want this franchise to keep going forward, you have to go past certain things. You can't. It's not Mario. I know it's a video game, but this.
I will never buy another Halo if they kill off Master Chief,
Well, I mean, it's going to happen. I mean,
which is fine.
it's like
I'm
what
okay with it. I don't care.
Damn, it's like K Mega wakes up every morning and you know you do a prayer before you get into what you got to do throughout the day, and he's like, God, I really want Master Chief dead.
I didn't say I want Master Chief
Yeah.
dead. I
Let's
just
die.
because it's eventually got to happen. The dude is in his 50s. You want this
You
old
never
ass
even
dude
seen his
to keep out there
face.
to
Like,
do-
how do you know how old he is, man?
Yeah, you don't know how old he is.
The
He
comics
could
and
he
everything
could be
else,
like in his
he's
30s,
50s.
dude.
He's
Yeah,
not
but-
in his
but
30s
he's
in what
been-
they call
He's
it.
not in his 50s.
Yo,
dude.
hold on,
No way.
Dark. Yo,
Oh, bro.
yo, he's been genetically altered one time through the Spartan program and
Mhm.
another time with the librarian. You have no idea how long he's gonna live.
That's right.
He could, but I'm saying if in order look, I'm just going by when I totally agree with it. What everybody have said that's been ahead of Halo from 343. They said, look, the universe is bigger than any individual.
Yeah,
And
so they can make other Halo games.
Exactly, but it also means that eventually that if you want this saga to keep going, it's just like with Star Wars, it's just like with Star Trek and either you have to make because that's where we're talking about with Halo is as a universe in the scale of of a Star Wars and of a Star Trek. You have new generations. You have a whole different. You know what I'm saying? People are thinking like because Mario or Link doesn't die that it's got to be the same way with this. This is the thing that's going to crack me up, right? because I want to see all this energy. I see Salty in them. Look, like I said, all these
I triggered you so bad, dude.
What you say?
I triggered you so bad that you just,
No, you
you
ain't
just went
triggered.
off on a rant.
You have not,
I
you
thought
have
we
not
were wrapping the show up.
But I'm just going to say this last point. I just want to say this last point. It's going to be really funny to me when these same people that come out here, like I said, Salty, I love you, bro. You know what I'm saying?
We gotta have Salty back on.
We do.
It's been
We need
a
to bring
while,
Salty on.
man.
I got to have Salty come back on.
Salty, let me know
too.
what Saturday
And
is
we
open.
got to talk about Halo. But this is the thing I got to say is that and I think it's scripted perfectly for God of War. Kratos is going to die, ladies and gentlemen. He's about to go finito chitons. He's going to be out of there.
No.
He is. I'll bet you a game,
He already
Otter.
can't jump. He already can't jump, man.
I'll bet you a game, Otter. I'll bet you a game.
I don't bet unless I am guaranteed to win.
Then hush. Kratos is going to be gone, and it's going to be his son that's going to be the new protagonist.
Nah.
Why that can't happen with Halo, I don't understand. It's just that the universe is bigger than any individual, and I like
Locke is not even a good character.
I'm
That's
not talking
why.
about Locke. I'm talking
Well, then
about
who's
the
gonna take his
universe.
place? Who's gonna take Master Chief's place then?
Fuck.
Oh,
Buck.
I don't know who's
Oh,
going to take over the spot, but I just know that.
Yo, guys, hit that thumbs up if you think Chief is gonna live
Anyway,
longer than what K-Mega
I love
expects.
saying
Yo.
it because
Guys, hit that thumbs up. Yeah.
those Master Chief guys triggered. I love it. Get out of here. Hashtag save Block, bitches.
That was your outro.
He's like, that was your outro. Oh no.
That was my outro.
All right, well, guys, absolutely had a blast. It felt good to actually go live again this Saturday. I am gonna look into the whole Google Hangout fiasco, and I'm gonna try to have everything smoothed over for next Saturday. But guys, it's the end of the show. And like a 40-year-old with a comb over, we gotta get those plugs in. Let's start with Dark. Dark, what you got for us, brother?
Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter and Xbox at Knoxximus, and you can find me playing Sekiro on that damn freaking Xbox One X. It looks so good. But yeah.
Yeah, dude, I'm a part of the 4K world now, brother.
I have a few announcements probably coming during the week, so look out for those too as well.
Really? Are you gonna are they gonna be on Twitter?
Yes, they will be on Twitter.
Are you gonna tag me in them so this way I definitely see them? Thank you.
You will be tagged in it.
Thank you. I try to tell people all the time, tag me on Twitter because my news feed, for some rhyme or reason, it goes so fast that I miss half of the stuff on Twitter. But cool. I can't wait to hear what you got in store. And yo, Predator, what do you got for us, man? Are you doing any guest appearances that you know of?
You know, it's always last minute, so I never know. Nothing this week that I know of, so I'll just be back here next Saturday.
But stay
tuned. You never know. I might just pop in on a show on a random Wednesday. So next podcast next week, and make sure you guys vote for me and my awesome gameplay.
Nice. Well, dude, you can't. My gameplay was fire this week, brother.
Nah.
Dude, if I win, you really can't say anything.
I don't know. Pred had some Ghost Recon going on there. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude.
You can't win against Ghost Recon,
dude.
bro.
I would bring gameplay, but I'm tired of winning.
Oh!
Dang.
Yo, guys, hit that thumbs up if you want Don to bring gameplay back. Go ahead, do it. Well, speaking of that, yo, Don, dude, what's going on with you? You said you were gonna be dropping videos on your YouTube channel. Did you do so? What's up, man?
Yeah, things are there. My wife's yelling at me now to do it, so it's gonna happen.
Oh, finally! So once Mrs. KTR gets involved, then stuff is gonna happen, people.
Oh yeah, she's like, we're gonna do live streams together. I'm like, oh, we'll see how that goes. And she hasn't missed a week. She's just like, let's do it. I'm like, all right, let's go. So yeah, things are happening. Just follow me on Twitter and you'll see what's going down. If I'm randomly showing up on a show or if I just drop in or what's going on. So trying to get things arranged. There's a lot of moving parts of trying to do a lot more live streams for you guys, but that's there's some hurdles that I have to go through. So
yeah, growing pains, man.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a lot easier than it was. So that's how it is.
Well, if you need any help with anything, me and O-Snap's got you.
It's just a time situation, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay. All right.
Just
We
just
can't
time.
we can't control time. We don't have that Infinity Stone. So, yeah.
Man, I had a Infinity Stone. I can finish my backlog.
Brother, it was great to have you jump on. You and Dark, kind of felt like old times again. With Predator and that Master Chief hater over there in the corner as well. But,
yeah, look, Master Chief. I mean, occasionally you got to put him in the old folks' home, man. That's just what it boils down to.
Don't put him in the old folks' home, man. You're gonna kill that franchise. I'm telling you.
No, you won't.
You'll kill it.
All right. Well,
doesn't he already go to the bathroom in his pants, anyways?
Right. Maybe.
That milk carton
He's probably
codpiece,
wearing
people.
the pants while we were fighting. Fuck the katana.
The librarian hooked him up. Before that, the Spartan program hooked him up. You don't know how long he's gonna live, but
now it doesn't even sound like you're talking about Halo. Keep on moving.
Yeah. Yo, Mega, what's going on with you, brother? I know you do have a YouTube channel. Yo, GRG was absolute fire last night. Like I said, I wasn't in the chat a lot. I was trying to play Destiny 2, but listening to you guys and like I said, when it came down to the whole Epic thing, man, I was like, I got a bone to pick with this dude. But why don't you let people know what you got going on, bro?
Oh man, nothing. Just doing my thing, working, busting ass, trying to get ready to get to E3, God willing. Got everything set up so far. But check me out on my channel, KMega405. I did throw a video out. Don't know when I'll throw a video again. Hopefully I might try to do one this, maybe tomorrow or Monday. I don't know, but that might not happen. But anyway, we'll be doing some live streaming because I get the fight night thing is coming back because I got to be all over Mortal Kombat. I got to destroy Bot and whoever else.
Oh, we're gonna be live streaming that, brother.
Yeah, so it's got to come in.
Dude, did you see the collector?
Man, did you see the Elder God that they brought? Like, bruh,
yo,
man,
they're killing it right now.
MK is insane.
Yeah. And guess what, bro? Yo, Mega, just to let you know, O-Snap is the one who pre-ordered the game, and she pre-ordered the $100 edition, so we get access to the DLC characters a week early.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I risked it all for it too.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I'm probably gonna get an extra Xbox and put it in the front room because my old lady is like, you know what? I really want to play this game. So,
yeah.
so if
did you get her a Switch yet?
Not yet.
He's gonna make up for it with an Xbox.
Yeah, well, get her a Genesis Mini.
I'm gonna get her that. Let her start off small. But anyway, man, thank you guys for hanging out with us as usual. And Salty, we're gonna have to do some things. We got to debate because you over here talking crazy, man. Love you, but you talk crazy as hell. But also hashtag save lock, hashtag put Chief in some Depends. We out, baby.
Whoa, hold on, we're not out yet. Yo, I gotta give a huge shout out to everybody who hung out with us tonight live for the next podcast, and for everybody who can't hang out with us but definitely checks out the show later on. We appreciate all the support. You guys are absolutely incredible. The chat was absolute fire. If you haven't done it yet, go ahead and hit that thumbs up. The poll is up on my Twitter channel right now, my Twitter page at Xbot448. You can vote for who had the best gameplay, and tonight it's between Pred, the Xbot, and Knox. So go
not
ahead
between
and
anybody. You guys already know I'm gonna win. So
go ahead and vote. I know who you're gonna vote for. It's whoever played Streets of Rage 2. I'm just saying. But guys, the gamers got a game. It is Saturday night. We got to get the controllers in our hands. So I'm gonna end the show the way I end it every week. We will check you out next Saturday for the next podcast. Have a great weekend, everybody.
But I thought you stole that gameplay.
Oh no, never,
Dang.
bro. Yo, we're out.
Shots fired. Shots fired.